Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of One on One with the Ginger One. It is, of course, me, Ginger Heat, and I have an amazing guest this week. After kicking my ass in Love Wrestling's Quizplex, Holden has decided to join me. Holden Albright, thank you so much for coming on, and I really appreciate it, man. You are a trivia monster, by the way.
Trivia monster, or just knows way too much about Stone Cold Steve Austin specifically.
Hey, it got you the win, and you also had some incredible luck with the wheel. You are the wheel master for sure. I think you won all of them or something.
Matt was winning them, and then I took the last two.
So we recently got signed to a podcast network. It's called the Pantheon Network. They're mostly for music and stuff like that. They really focused on music. They decided to branch out a little bit, and so they brought us on board to do some wrestling stuff. And we were on a show called My Weekly Mixtape with our buddy Brian. Shout out to Brian. He's taking a little pause right now, but he's got a great show, Mixtapes. Did you ever have mixtapes growing up? Was that still a thing? Are you old enough to know about mixtapes? And did you ever make any?
I do remember burnt CDs. I don't know if I made any.
Okay.
But I definitely I made like burnt DVDs that weren't even fully formatted. They were just the files of mostly the Magic DVDs I was pirating at the time. But
like
I make
Magic the Gathering or Magic Magic Tricks?
So I used to be, I think once you are one, you're never not it, but luckily I'm not on the list. So I used to be a magician. So every time there's Magic the Gathering reference, there's a little part of me that's just like, we got heat. Like that's like when you tell someone you do wrestling and they're like, what weight class are you in? When's your next tournament?
Oh no, I started off with a dagger.
And that's why it's on the arm.
Hey, let's go.
But I do make Spotify. I do make Spotify playlists like a motherfucker though.
Oh no. Okay, that's the modern version of it. That's the most modern version of it then, right? What's your Spotify in case people want to check out what your playlists?
So I'm old enough to like not understand technology enough that like I do not want people seeing the music I'm listening to. I think every now and then on my Patreon I'll drop like a playlist, but like I don't want you seeing that I'm in a good mood at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday and I'm listening to girly pop hits of the 2000s.
Why not? That's so good. I love when discovering what other people's guilty pleasures are, you know? You never know.
Oh, 100%. I'm a creep sometimes. I just don't want to be the creeped on.
What about for wrestling music then? Do you have any favorite songs? He brought us on to talk about songs at WrestleMania specifically, but do you have any favorite wrestling themes, perhaps?
So shout out WWE's Vault channel for like a few months ago posting like 5 WrestleMania hype packages, and it starts with My Way in 17 and then Crack Addict in 19, which I think is underrated. But when it comes to music for wrestling, I do say that I have bad taste in music because I grew up a wrestling fan. So there's a lot of Christian rock of like Skillet and Creed, and I'm real happy that Creed broke through, but there's Skillet, there's other stuff in there that's like, I think it's good, but like, I am more of like a rap guy. So like that's more of what I'm listening to. But I'm embracing
like
middle age
rap then, like Christian. So you're going VeggieTales rap, yeah. Okay.
Oh God, no! I'm saying I'm rapping songs that I have to stop singing the lyrics depending on the place I'm in. But I will admit, I'm embracing middle age white, and a lot of country's on that now.
There we go. See, country's making a resurgence. I used to like listen to country back in the day, and people would be like, "What do you?" I mean, I listened to everything. Hip hop was my number one. You know, growing up, my first tapes at the time were NWA and KRS-One, but country music is making a resurgence. So I'm happy about that.
Garth Brooks was like my dad's artist when I was a kid. So like I had Garth Brooks and then Toby Keith, and then some recent stuff recently have been like popping up, like Morgan Wallen's got some good stuff, but I'm really liking Hardy. And what's funny is like I hated him when he was doing like WWE pay-per-views a few years ago, because I'm like, why are you having someone that's named like the Hardy? But like they just dropped a live at Red Rocks album, and it is so fucking good.
Oh, live country music slaps. It hits different for sure. I guess all music does really, but you know.
Yes. I am a mark for like live music. There's also a couple musicals in there. I got the Hamilton mixtape. I've been somehow Rent has been coming up in my like song shuffles the past 2 days. So shout out La Vie Boheme.
Were you ever a theater kid? It seems like you'd be someone that would excel in that area.
I did pretty good in drama when I was like took that in high school, but I was never a theater-ish kid. I wanted to be on the production side of stuff. I wanted to go to school for like film and television and such like that. But like I'm trying to figure out like I was stupid. Like I didn't know how to skate, but I tried to join the hockey team. I'm trying to figure out why I never like I was a soccer kid when I was a kid, but like I'm trying to figure out why I never signed up. I don't think my high school really had like a theater program. We more so had like an inner city fight program. Yeah, we didn't have drama club. We just had drama and inner city.
Where did you grow up?
So I grew up and I still, for the time being, live in Brampton, Ontario. And I went to the
Wow.
worst school for high school of the first week I was there in grade 9. We had a lockdown because someone robbed a Howard Johnson across the street with a sawed-off shotgun. There was a fight between two groups of people, and the way they figured out who was in trouble was they all skipped the next period to change their clothes. Someone ran down the art hallway with like, the middle of the chain link fence, like those poles. Like he ran it like a javelin down the hallway.
What the?
And like literally our school was so bad. We didn't have any real sports. And we didn't feud. Once again, we didn't feud with other schools. We just fought ourselves.
That's crazy. So I guess you've seen. I mean, Brampton has changed a lot over the years from when you went to high school. So it was tough then. It's even tougher now, or is it changed for the better?
So I went from a Catholic elementary school to a public high school. I
Oh
went
shit!
from like legitimately there were two there it was just a European Catholic school, just a whole bunch of white people except for like two kids. And like because there were two grades per class, they definitely had to draft the kids so that there wouldn't be an all white class.
Right.
But then I go to Central Peel where I'm the minority. And like it was wild. And then also I got set up for like peer pressure so much. And then like within the first month there was one kid that I had like almost every class with, and he's like, hey, we're gonna go smoke over the hill, do you want to on lunch? Like, oh no, I'm going to with my sister because she was a few years older than me to like go get McDonald's or something. And he's like, oh okay. And then he walked away, and I was like, that was peer pressure. And I'm like, what?
That's all it was.
And then like I didn't start drinking or smoking weed until I was like in my 20s, and I was like I'm happy. I do think you should not indulge in substances until your brain is more formed, be an
Agreed.
adult and such like that. But like, I'm like, oh, this isn't horrible. And like, I haven't chosen past that. But I will say, I did pull out my white privilege when I started smoking weed 2 years before it became legal in Canada. But like not giving a shit and just treating my joint like it was a cigarette. And then I would have like the potheads that I've been smoking for like 10 years running to a dumpster to hide. And I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's still in there. I tell you, like going, like even buying it in the SQDC feels weird for me to be like, can I? Is this like a scam? Is it, like you never? And then smoking. I mean, still though in Quebec we're pretty behind in the areas you're legally actually allowed to smoke. It's like only on your own property, outside in public, anywhere you're not supposed to. Will they give you a ticket for that? I mean, come on. It doesn't seem like it because everybody does it anyway. But
yeah,
Quebec's legalization laws are still a little bit whack, which is weird. It's like legal but frowned upon.
because we did the trivia on Love Wrestling when I went out there for their debut show. I went to smoke some weed outside of the venue doors, and I asked. Someone told me to remind me to ask the security, like, what's the legality in this province? And it's like, well, you can, maybe. And I'm like, oh, okay. But like, I was telling someone over the weekend so if you're a middle-aged man, a quarter of your algorithm at this point is body cam footage. There's no way that it escapes.
Yes.
But I love that the body cam footage is 50-50. Sometimes the cops being a dick, sometimes the person being arrested. But I love when someone's being arrested and they're told you're going to jail and they say, no, I'm not.
Yeah,
and you're being arrested. No, I'm not. And it's like this, it's not a question. It was purely a statement.
No, I'm not. For what? For what? For what? And they just repeat for what? Even if you say it to them 50
Yep.
times, they're like, for what?
Or
I love it.
my favorite is the moms that like they think just because their kid is somewhere around the corner, they have permission to do whatever the hell they want.
Yes.
But
It's
I do think for cops, like if you're not a dick, like for the most part, like they don't want to file the paperwork of the ticket or anything. They want to be like, hey, don't do it. There was one time though I was drinking downtown Toronto, and at some point I had a joint, but not at this point. But I saw a police horse. And I was like, "Hey, how's your day? How's your night going?" It's like 2:30 in the morning, and the officer on the horse goes, "Pretty well, pretty good yourself." So I had to look up at the cop because I clearly asked the horse how his day was.
that's that good Canadian stuff you're smoking on then.
Bro, I'm so happy that I was a goofy drunk and not like an abusive drunk.
Oh,
There is
thank God,
one
yeah.
story, but I don't think that person's gonna listen to this. That's a whole buried treasure in the background.
Oh, really? Like an
Yeah.
aggressive story, you mean, or just like wilding
Okay.
out?
So I used to say, but now with maturity and age, I need to admit I was an alcoholic. I used to say I was 2 weeks away from being an alcoholic. When you ask people when was like the time you blacked out, and they're like, "Oh, this one time I had Jamaican rum or something." I'm like, "Yeah, I blacked out 5 times in 1 month. There was one time that I drank 15 days in a row. It would have been 16, but I was so busy I forgot to drink that day. And by drink I mean tipsy, not like plastered, but tipsy." And
Jeez.
this one time we're at a friend's house, and it's me, my buddy, it's his house, and two of our female friends. And I can't say I don't know why. I was a problem. I understand why. But like it's the when you're young and you think you're being responsible, but you still set the house on fire, it's just not as big as you think. And they're like, Brendan isn't allowed to drink. Okay, he's allowed to take a shot every 3 minutes. So I remember looking at the clock on the stove, and it's just, okay, here is this clock. And then it hit 3:03, and the girls left the room. And my buddy, who is an alcoholic and a horrible influence, just slides me the bottle of Jack Daniels or whatever we were drinking. So I chugged it. I put it down. They come back in. And like, I can't say no when you're drunk because I'm a special kind of drunk. You just like look forward and you think that will solve all of your balance issues. I just know that clock said 3:03 a.m. And then I disappeared until, and this is, I was actually telling this to someone the other day. I don't know how much of my memory was told to me or that I lived an experience. But what I do know that I experienced was trying to run to my front door from like 5 houses away off of a corner and tripping every like 2 feet
Oh,
that my buddy's just walking. And it takes me so long to stand up. I can get 15 feet ahead of him, but then I get up like a deer on ice. He makes it there. I get to my front door. It's like 4:30 in the morning. I'm banging on the door. My dad opens it up. I fall inside. And then I woke up in the washroom, one of many times. But like in that, apparently they tried to take the bottle from me. I grabbed the bottle. People ended up with just scratches on themselves. But like none of us were dating, so at least it wasn't like domestic abuse.
it's just a alcoholic banter, you know. I mean, I feel like me and my friend group kind of grew up like that. It was Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, every week for I don't know
Mhm.
how long of going to the local pub and then downtown and then all of that stuff and the amount of nights that spent way too much money, whatever little money we
Oh,
had, nights that we don't remember. I was very lucky to be friends with the guys from Epic Mealtime. Did you ever hear about Epic Mealtime?
yeah.
So I was friends with those guys near the beginning. So it was just constant, they were always partying. So once in a while you get it going with them. I remember coming back from downtown being like, they had bottles and everything. We didn't have bottles. So I was like, bottles, you could just drink as much as you want.
Yep.
Like, so just gone and going down the street in a limo with them, going back to their headquarters. And they're like, we're going to do all these. And they're just listing all the drugs they're going to do. And I was like, no, I'm done. I'm toasted. I can't be a part of this. I'm just drinking. It's too much.
Yep.
Getting out of the limo and just sprinting towards home. Lucky I wasn't that far, but I only got about halfway before I just lied down next to like a sign and was like, oh, yeah, this is good enough.
I was a big doing like jumping jacks and squats and crunches and McDonald's drive-throughs when the line was taking forever. And like
No
my buddy was
way.
getting his dick sucked in the back seat. I'm like, yeah, I was gonna dip out the passenger seat for a second here.
McDonald's is like the greatest late night though, probably. I mean, there's like
Dude,
special ones, but like for consistent, always good, it's tough to beat.
When you find a nice diner with like an all-day
Oh,
breakfast that you can get at 3 or 4 a.m., perfect. Some good Chinese food place, sure. But like I've never woken up and forgot the person I was in bed with. But the amount of times I've woken up with a junior chicken in my bed, oh my God.
a couple left in the bag. You're like, how many did I order? Like 9? Why? At least I
In
ate 6 of them.
fairness, it's never in the bag. It was
Yeah,
at least
it's
still
out.
wrapped up. But like I would eat the double cheeseburger, but the junior chicken I wake up to. I'm like, oh hell yeah.
I love it. I love it. So usually when I do the pod, I started off with some random questions just for the guys, just to like random banter. So I'm gonna throw some of them at you, just
Cool.
for fun and see what comes out of it. They're just like regular things, like what's your favorite cereal, or if you don't eat cereal anymore
Ooh.
as a kid, what was your favorite cereal?
Is that an actual question or
That's an actual question. Yeah, that's
okay,
what I ask
cool.
you.
Cool. So I recently got back into cereal and then I
Ooh,
left it again. The
okay.
benefit of not wrestling for a year and a half, and then the reason of why I was like, oh yeah, I'm fat as shit right now, but the cereal was good. I will say, and I think low key they're the same, but people don't talk about it. Alphabets and honeycomb, pretty much the same.
I think they might be right. It's just the
Different
taste is there,
shapes.
but it
Yeah.
like then it holds the honey different maybe or something. But you're right. It's the same exact thing.
But then I liked it as a kid and I went back to it now and it was especially like a little bit on the healthier side.
Yeah.
But like shredded wheats. I like frosted, like not even the mini wheat ones. Like I like the big ass, like you scoop it in a spoon, one or two fit on there.
Like frosted mini wheats or regular mini
Yeah,
wheats? Yeah, frosted mini
frosted
wheats.
for sure.
So good. So good. You're right. But as a kid, I didn't really like it as I got older, though. It's fucking
Yeah.
good.
And then you look at the side, you're like, oh, pretty good on fiber, pretty good on the calories. It's a little
Yeah.
treat. Okay.
Yeah. If you're going to have a treat, yeah, it's not that bad.
Oh, they were also great just like snacking on it without like the
For sure.
cereal aspect.
Yeah. Same. What about ice cream? Do you have a favorite ice cream or a go to?
So I thought Neapolitan was like not even my favorite ice cream, but just in the house. But like
Hmm.
no one ever ate the fucking pink one. Like what
Yeah.
is that strawberry?
Yeah, the
Is that
strawberry
what it
one
is?
always got left. It's just a chocolate and vanilla getting, and you're stuck with this one little
Yeah, and then I
strawberry.
realized I was a chocolate guy, and
Okay.
I like the only sweets that I had was chocolate bars or such like that. Which now I think I think I put a coffee crisp in my fridge yesterday.
Hey, that's a nice for a late night little bonus, little coffee crisp.
Yeah, I think I was in Walmart going shopping and the line took too long. I saw the coffee crisp was $1. I'm now just remember. I was like, I didn't have it. I put it in the fridge because it was kind of melt. Like there's been like 17 fat guy moments of just like this light bulb going off in the 20 minutes we started
It's
recording.
a stoner thing too, man. If you're in line, you're like, I know I'm going to smoke later, and I know I'm going to need a coffee crisp.
But during the pandemic, like I never got COVID or anything, but like my
Nice,
taste buds, it's like got a mini like a mini allergy to chocolate now, so vanilla is my go-to.
nice. So vanilla ice cream, things like that, and chocolate bar. Can you have a
Yeah.
chocolate bar then anymore? Or you're done with those two.
So
It's like
so
vanilla
here
protein bar only.
see, I'm an idiot, which by the way, I think it's I haven't had in a minute, but it was the grenade protein bars that were so fucking
Yeah, those are
good.
so good.
Because they're also like formed like an actual chocolate bar. It's not just powder.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, I'm an idiot. So because I love chocolate for like 30 fucking years, I forget like I can't really eat it now. So I get it and then it tastes like tinny halfway through it that I'm like that's why I can't get chocolate ice cream because I would have to commit to like the gallon or whatever it comes in.
Yeah.
But like a chocolate bar, like I'll grunt through that. Like there's girls that like just tolerated me. Like I can do that for a chocolate bar.
What about growing up? Did you have a favorite cartoon or cartoon character even?
So I wish, and like I think I have the Funko Pop there somewhere, but like I will say Yu-Gi-Oh and Simpsons were the two cartoons that like I kept up with, and I recently watched the whole series of the original Yu-Gi-Oh a year and a half ago, and like I'm an ancient Egypt mark. Like
Nice.
whenever people bring up like, oh, how often do you guys think about ancient Rome? And like maybe it's because I'm Italian and I'm Sicilian, which is like the cast off of Italy. I
Mm.
don't think about Rome at all. But I think of ancient Egypt a lot. And then recently finding out about the possibility that ancient Egypt has an ancient Egypt of just like the layers of that I'm like, okay, and
Bonkers.
the back half of the Yu-Gi-Oh series just is focused on ancient Egypt and stuff. I'm like, okay, that's dope. But like Rugrats, I just watched like a video essay on that.
No
And like
way.
Cat Dog, I want to say I loved it, but
So good.
I didn't like embrace it enough. I just got Paramount Plus so that I can watch the new Dexter series that's going on. Oh, by the way, shout out to Dexter's Laboratory. Between Dexter Morgan and Dexter's Laboratory, that's what my wiener dog's named after.
Oh,
But
no way. That's amazing.
but I think I want to watch Hey Arnold because I keep seeing like these little memes and clips about how like deep it is and how like real about like impoverished families and like different struggles and stuff going on like that. But I think that might be too real for me right now. And I'm especially like a psychedelics guy that
But
like
they probably do it in a good way, right? They probably balance it. It's Hey Arnold, right? They probably sneak it in there, or like it's not as in your face as King of the Hill was. Like, but even then, I was young. I didn't know it was that deep either. So maybe
I can't wait for King of the Hill coming back.
it's
Van
gonna be
Landen,
so
who
good, man.
oh, the trailers alone for it, like the fact that it just looks like a continuation. The Bobby, so for anyone not listening and don't know, King of the Hill's coming back. So Bobby's a full grown man. He's a chef. One of the scenes in the trailer is Hank cooking fucking steaks. And Bobby goes, hey, if you need a hand with that, I'm a professional. And this is the most like old white man dad shit. And because I also thought I started talking Southern, like stone cold badass Southern, I realized I speak Hank Hill Southern. Like I give people disappointed dad vibes, and I'm not mad at that. People need to feel shame. But there's a scene in it, so he goes, "Oh, I'm a professional. I can help you," because he's a chef. And Hank just goes, "What? A professional comedian? You think I'm gonna let you near the grill?" And it's like, I can't wait to watch this.
I can't
I
believe it's a
can't wait.
pickup. Like at first, I was so scared when I saw Bobby looking older. I was like, this is so weird. I love innocent little Bobby and his jokes and everything, but it's starting to grow on me now. The idea that
Yeah.
it's a continuation. What other cartoon has done that? Came back after years, and all of a sudden they've aged. Where like Futurama's been off the air so
Yep.
many times, they come back and make a joke about it every time. Be like, "Hey, we're all the same."
But yeah, like The Simpsons has gone to the future so many times, but
True.
they stay in primary school. Like they've been on the air for 33 years, which by the way, if you haven't watched The Simpsons, I haven't watched The Simpsons in like 15, 20 years. There has been a couple of good episodes the last few years. They did a like a two-parter mafia thing about Ned Flanders' like grandfather, and like it just felt like, especially because I'm embracing the middle-agedness of me of watching like Casino. I watched Goodfellas last night.
So good.
So
So
fucking
good.
good. But like it's just there's so much good stuff going on right now.
That's good to know because The Simpsons, I mean, obviously I was a big fan and I've rewatched it so many times up to a certain point. And then that's kind of like the cutoff, you know? And then, but it's good to know that there's still some gold in there. It's still happening.
Look up like random reviews where they'll pop off of like, oh, this Simpsons episode was great.
Yeah, that's a good idea because I don't want to let it go. And it's still going and it's got to be
Yeah.
like, it's because sometimes you watch an episode and it's so different from what it used to be. It's too jarring and I can't continue it. But if there's some that can revert back to it or get lost in the characters, then why not, right?
Yeah.
Keep it going. I'm down.
Bro, Simpsons on HD though is what fucked me up. Like, it's a cartoon. Their words are not matching their lips. But I don't know what happened on global television when they switched over to HD in like 09, 08. I was just like, oh, the words are so far off. It's a fucking cartoon
Unwatchable.
though.
You were talking about Yu-Gi-Oh before. Who's that guy that used to be like you had to build him with like 5 different cards? You had to get his head, torso, arms, legs.
Exodia, the Forbidden One, which is like OG season 1, and this is how
That's
much like
season
a
one.
mark.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, well, dude, there's like 130 episodes per season, and there's like 5 seasons.
Because I mean, I tried to watch all of it when I was a kid because I was collecting, I was playing, so I watched.
Yep.
I'm sure a significant amount of, but at the time there was probably only one season or something.
I just talked. There's a wrestler in the area named Jax Williams. I was telling him this the other day, and Battle City is like the shit for Yu-Gi-Oh. Like going to the island, whatever, but like Battle City was the shit. And they actually released 2 sets of legendary decks the past few years. And they actually had the Exodia pieces in one of them. And it doesn't actually matter, but there was a part of me that was like, ooh, I have it all. And it's just like,
Yes, it
bruh,
does
it
matter.
doesn't
It's sick.
matter.
I mean, I like collecting, so maybe to me, like
Cool.
I'm nuts and I just love collecting things. So when someone else is a collector, so I'm always like, I get it, it's cool. Like I have the
I
green screen up
love
behind me. I have all
people.
my junk, like all the things I collect.
I love people who. I love listening to people be passionate about the stuff they're passionate about.
There we go. That's what it is.
Like I don't get most of it, but I'm just like, yeah. Once I've made jokes when we were doing the trivia thing of like, I definitely have undiagnosed autism.
Yeah.
Where there's a couple of younger kids that I've talked to recently, and I made like an autism joke, but they thought I was like confiding that I had it. That I felt like I had, like, not stolen valor, but like undeclared valor yet. And what happened was, I've gone down so many Wikipedia rabbit holes and YouTube essays that I can like piece together what people are loving. But like, it's just something special when someone's voice gets higher pitched, they start talking faster, and it's just like, it's adorable to see.
And that's like, I think one of the great things about meeting another wrestling fan, because pretty much all wrestling fans, if you're an actual fan, are going to be pretty, big into it. There's not many like that casual. Everyone is going to have those moments and those things where they're going to light up and mark out and all of those things. And that's like, meeting someone when you travel to a new city or something. Like I worked at the Apple store back in the day, and that's how I met Jordan from the Four Jobbers. As I went over there, I lived and worked in Edinburgh for a couple years, and as soon as there's like a rumor or something like, I think that guy likes wrestling because you mentioned you like wrestling. You try to bring it up carefully, and then as soon as you bring it up with someone else, or they'll play a song, and you're like, you're a mark.
Well, I think it's because we have to avoid, like, when you're a wrestling fan, like, I was a kid in school of like, oh yeah, he's the wrestling guy. Like, he's always watching that. And I was like 7 or 8 when the Attitude Era is like at its peak. So it's like, we're children. Like, people are kind of watching it, but not really. And then also, we had the benefit. It was on TSN at 4 p.m. on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
But, like, we're so used to being told. And, like, I never even had the realization of, like, finding out wrestling was fake. I'm watching The Undertaker try to embalm Stone Cold Steve Austin. I would be a lunatic if I thought that was real. Like, I just thought it's on television. Like, I don't think, like, this whatever show, I don't think Zoe 101 or Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide's real. Why would I think this was real? And, like, I didn't watch real sports outside of NASCAR. So it's like, I'm seeing them just fight in the streets, and, like, no, I don't want this to be real.
Yeah. They hung the Big Boss Man for real? Are you kidding me? This is really crazy television.
We don't think about WrestleMania 15 for that point. But, like, that's the thing, though. It's like, we're so used to when someone finds out we're a wrestling fan, either trying to be belittled, because I do think wrestling's fucked. Because also the opposite of who's a fan, it's you find out people that never stopped being fans. Of, like, there's a difference between, oh, I used to watch Hogan, or I used to watch Stone Cold or Cena. But then they go, like, this happened. I forget what SummerSlam it was. But someone just mentioned, it's like, oh, did that thing really happen to Roman Reigns? And, like, that is such, like, a current gen name. And it's, like, pre-pandemic. That's like, wait, you know who the fuck Roman Reigns is? And you're like, okay. Or, like, when AEW comes up and there's some rumblings about that, of, like, my theory is, so on the wrestling fan side, we get belittled so much that when we find each other, we're like, oh, sweet, a sanctuary. Yep. But then non-wrestling fans, currently lapsed fans, like, every other sport has a season off, so you cannot get tired, and you're also invested in the franchise. Oh, it's true. You're not invested in this player, really. Like, you're hopeful, but you're invested in the team. It's a team you watched with your parents growing up. Because wrestling never finishes, you fall out of love. Like, I remember hearing someone say, a breakup is harder than dealing with the death because you still grieve, but someone that's still alive. That's crazy. And that's what wrestling is. Wrestling doesn't fucking end. Now it's on every single day of the week that, like, if I was already socially inept in 2007 and 2008. The minimal social life I had would have been non-existent.
100%. And I think that's a theme, I think, with everybody that I talk to. It seems like, especially in the indie world, you're dealing with a lot of people around you that don't know wrestling. You're not surrounded by wrestlers all the time. Does it ever come up when, you say, yeah, I'm a wrestler, I do wrestling, and they give you weird looks or they judge you in some kind of way? Is that a thing that you experience too?
So I was thinking about this like today actually, and I think a lot. But what happened was I never understood wrestlers that didn't say they were wrestlers at their job or like they hid it a little bit. It was someone finds them on Facebook or they're tagged in a photo or they see a poster. And like I love wrestling, so I'm not ashamed to be a wrestler. Like
Right.
full disclosure, I'm pansexual, but the joke I make is I don't put a pride flag in my bio because I'm talented enough to not have to be a diversity hire. Like I'm just good. And
Let's go.
then because I'm straight passing, people think that they can be like homophobic or even the best is when someone's racist near me. And I'm like, I was a token white friend. So like whenever like anyone tries to put their shit, I'm like, no, go fuck yourself. So I never comprehended people not liking being a wrestler, but then I realized like no one ever said, you do wrestling? It was always, makes sense. Like, yeah.
That's a good thing in a way, though. But because it's when someone
Oh,
tells me they're a wrestler, to me,
absolutely.
I'm like, oh my god, you're a wrestler. Tell me everything. I want to know. Like, this is so sick. Let's talk wrestling. Like,
Yes.
So I guess yeah, it can be different. But do people ask you whether did you win or did you lose when you get home? Is that a
Uh,
thing too?
so most people don't care enough.
Okay.
Firstly, second, my nana doesn't, and it's like the opposite of most grandparents, where it's like, oh yeah, my grandparent loves wrestling or whatever. My nana fucking hates it, but she likes when I win belts, and I always take a photo of her with the belts. But then
Oh
also she
no
just goes,
way.
"How much money did you make?" And I'm like, okay, okay.
That's a Sicilian grandma for sure.
Yep. I'm like, yep, I'm good with this. But
And now
like,
eat. Now you look skinny. Eat.
oh God. Uh, the best is I had to, especially when I'm like really focused on like eating right and such like that. I either have to fast before I go see her or surprise her. So like the only thing she can make is like a veal sandwich or something and not like a bowl, like a serving bowl to pass around of pasta. Like I need to surprise her to not have to like eat 2,500 calories.
I was about to say that's gotta be 2,500 calories bowl, like
Brother.
easy from Nona. Like,
Oh, and it's
no
all the
chance.
sauce too.
Yeah.
And then especially, I was talking about this with someone recently of no one ever talks about like people will like idolize a cheat meal or something. But
Mm,
like if you eat so clean and then you have like pizza, you're in the toilet for a day and a half.
100%. Or like French fries, something like oily like that. You get it from like a dirty
Oh,
place. Instantly, I'm dead. Like
yep.
it's just everything ruined.
2 bites into like just a greasy burger, and I'm like, fuck, I wasted
Oh.
$13 on this. I can't like eat the rest of this.
And $13, that's before tax. Now it's gonna be like $17 burgers nowadays. You can't get a burger for under $20. Fucking
The rent's too damn high. The burger prices are too damn. I will admit
burger
though,
prices too damn high.
I go to Costco though, so I get like the specific
Oh,
1/3 pound Angus burgers.
that's beautiful. That's good stuff. You're mentioning championships before. Do you have like a favorite championship or favorite run?
So I think the only actual okay. So I made a joke to you in private message that I wanted to piss people off and get clickbait. These are all things that we haven't touched on me pissing anyone off yet. But like legitimately, championships in indie wrestling are just so it's employee of the month. Like my name was underlined. I got when I worked at Cineplex, I got a free candy on a shift and my name on a fucking board for a month. Like it doesn't mean anything, but it does mean like you are respected and like being treated. The other part is, hey, I want to make sure you come back next month, so I'm going to give you the belt. That doesn't always happen. People have to forfeit titles or whatever.
True.
But so I won a lot of championships just because I was reliable. Like I've always made the joke of like in case of emergency, break glass for Albright because I'll either always show up or like I could be reliable to come back the next month. But the one run that I actually had, and I will say like I pitched ideas. I'm wrestling at Crossbody, and most of this can be found on their YouTube account, Crossbody Pro Wrestling, or on IWTV. And so I'm in a tag team with Mark Wheeler. We're doing the Riot Makers. Jody Stratosphere are a part of it too. We We lose the tag belts. I don't think we break up, but Mark just starts getting busy and he can't confirm to a date. So then I become a singles guy. I think I have 1 or 2 matches with Jody, and Josh Alexander's a crossbody champion at that time. Josh had a couple of international commitments coming up, so he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to continue in Ontario at this point. This is well before TNA. I want to say August 2018. And so I jump in, challenge him for the title. It becomes a 3-way though.
That's
And
crazy.
oh no, sorry, it was a singles match. So August 2018, it's a singles match. I beat him. Uh, and I survive. It's like 32 minutes or something. I'm like, okay, cool. Some of the international dates though in the back half got put on hold, so he was available for the dates. So my title reign that was supposed to go on longer lasted 1 month. Joey threats in the 3-way. It was going to be me versus Jody. Josh gets added, fortunately, and he wins the title back. And then he tells me if I want to win the title, I have to earn it. So I wrestle a dude named Justin Sane. Great dude. I then wrestle Michael Elgin at the time, and he actually just came back from Japan and he tweaked his knee a little bit. And we're at the double down and we still had like 15 more minutes in the match. And he called an audible of us having a no contest with the referee kind of getting in the middle and us both pushing him. So we got like double DQ'd. And then it set up though of me versus Josh versus Elgin, which was Josh and Elgin's chops versus my fucking chest.
Oh,
And I didn't lose that match. Elgin was pinned. I tell Josh, I didn't lose. I want you. And then he goes, because I knew this was the plan when I lost the title. You're going to wrestle Josh in an Iron Man match. But the problem was, I didn't know if it was next month for about 5 months. So
what the fuck?
I'm just training. And what's so funny is like if you see me wrestle, I've wrestled more 60+ minute matches than I've wrestled steel cage matches in my 10 years in wrestling.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen a ton of your matches, but from what I've watched, there's so many matches I went to go look at, and I was like, "What? How is this so long? What the hell? How? Like, what? You've wrestled so many matches, first of all, and so many of them are so long. Like, I don't understand."
Main event, brother. Main
It's
event, brother.
crazy. It's
I
brutal.
actually I made a notice a few months ago, maybe like a year ago I started saying it, or 6 months ago, but I started of wrestling in the first half of a show and wrestling like 5 to 10 minutes. It's pretty easy. Like go set up a ring, be buddies with the promoter, whatever. You'll get that. You understand, because I'm now at a point in my life of realizing you don't get a gold star like verbally, but you get like that little pat on the back from how many people support you, from opportunities you consistently get. You can get invited to the dance one time, but it's not about how many logos are on your I wrestled for this many promotions this year. It's how many promotions did you return to month after month after month.
Nice.
And so it's like the fact that I became dependable, and I have no idea. I was this fat dude. I do call myself a fatleet, the athletic of the fat and the elite of the fat. But like I'm wrestling more 30+ minute matches than I'm not wrestling that. And there's times like even on the Iron Man match, on Friday I wrestled Pretty Ricky to a 20-minute time limit draw. I do the Iron Man match on Saturday, which I win. But I do say, because it was 1-0 because Josh hit me with a chair like 10 minutes left in the match. And I do say Josh should beat the shit out of me for 58.5 minutes. Like I had a solid 90 seconds in that 60 minutes. But yeah, I was blind and deaf within the first 12 minutes because I got Gatorade in my eye. And
Oh,
I tried because I'm stupid, and I put Gatorade at the corner as a joke. He grabbed it and he goes to do like me like swallowing it, and I'm smart enough. This is where I always go. I'm either a really good bad wrestler or a really bad good wrestler. It's one of the two on that yin and yang. But like, so I close my throat so I don't like swallow it, but my eyes are wide open and I just get this white Gatorade all into my eyes. I'm like, I can't see. And because I can't see, I can't judge distance. I get hit in the ear with a fist or a kick or something. I'm like,
oh,
I started this dumb, but now I'm deaf and blind too. It's like, oh god damn it. But then on the Sunday after going 60 with Josh, I wrestled a dude named Logan Savage for like 18 minutes, and then I was in a rumble for like 35 minutes on that same day.
what, man? I don't know how. It's nuts. But I think you do undersell yourself a lot and often, right? You comment on your look, you comment on your wrestling, you comment. But I mean, it's not just showing up and being there and being consistent, because you've seen so many people that show up all the time, that are willing to show up, that have availabilities that aren't getting those same opportunities. It has to do with your work. It has to do with your wrestling ability. It has to do with your character work. I mean, when you come out of that curtain, you're locked in. You're a different person. You're not this happy, smiling, holding a guy.
Yeah.
You're completely different. Like, where did you even come up with your character? And you've had a few iterations over the years, of course, like with the mask and everything else. Like, that was probably pretty recent, but I heard you're going away from the mask now, which is pretty cool as well. Like, how do you get the idea for these characters? Where did they come from? I know I'm throwing a lot out there, but
No, it's great. Also, by the end of this, I do want to do the hard debut or the hard launch. I did a little soft launch in my Instagram stories over the weekend of what the new Holden Albright is. But like it does come down to that evolution and showing effort. And like if anyone just looked at me, if you watched the video of this while you were complimenting me, I I fucking did not like that at all. I did not
good.
enjoy that.
That's okay.
I
You gotta hear
like
it sometimes. You
I'm at
gotta
a
hear it.
yeah, unfortunately.
Whether you accept it or
I
not, you heard it.
so I I'm in a mindset now that I've like separated myself so much from the reason I committed so much time to wrestling. Before we started the recording, I mentioned how I just found out how nervous and anxiety ridden I am day to day. So wrestling 5 to 65 minutes, like I don't subscribe to the if you don't get nervous, you should quit the business. No, if I'm in an MMA or a boxing fight, yeah, my opponent wants to kill me. I want to kill my opponent. I'm going out there, and if we're calling it on the fly, I kind of know what we're doing, and it's probably not going to be that good of a fucking match. But like, if we planned the match, like, why am I going to be nervous? I know when you're going to kick me. I know when you're going to drop me. I know when I'm going to punch you in the face. I'm sorry about the second time that I actually punch you in the face. And I always tell people, a bloody nose in a good match is better than a bloody nose in a goddamn bad match.
Yeah,
But like
sure.
that's where I always put in effort of like, sure, as far as people would think, I didn't look like. And by the way, this is the passableness of being like not perceived as fat, you're perceived as thick when it's distributed. So
Mm.
like I got the big torso, but I played soccer as a kid. So my calves are big and my thighs are big, and I'm able to jump up and hit an enziguri. Like you just need to be committed enough. And then also in wrestling, you're a good enough wrestler when the fans don't know what you can't do. So that means if you can do a shitty tope, don't do a shitty tope. Just tease it. But if you can do great things, only do the great things. You don't like whenever people complain finishers aren't finishers anymore. You want to know why people are kicking out of finishers? Because people are like, okay, so I'll hit this, you kick out of that. You just use the rope. Big fan of using the rope to rope breaks up, or
Beautiful.
don't pin them. Like we're controlling that story. That's like saying every movie just ends with the villain on top. It's like, no, that's the middle of the climax. Like keep watching. But putting in that effort, so it was also the fact of I've surrounded myself with such good people accidentally, but I think you do like attract the people you need and they do stay kind of thing. But like what I wanted to do, so my theme song that got like super over and it was called Ready or Not by Esther, I believe. And I wanted to use that from like whatever day in training. I can't say day one because day one Holden Albright gimmick was going to be Stan Sizzle. Just like that white dude that wears like New Era hats and Raptors jerseys, that was gonna be me. Like the one white dude at the cookout that's like kind of accepted but not really. Like
I can
that
still
was
see you
going
pulling
to
that
be.
off one day if you wanted to bust that gimmick out one day. I think it would be pretty funny. Maybe
I'm
for like a
too
one-off.
old. I can't do it because I just like I respect the culture too much.
Mm.
Like I would laugh at that person that I wouldn't be able. No, actually, that's a lie. Backyard Pro. I think in the Rumble, I did pull out Stan Sizzle and I ended up in a pool. I cannot swim. I know how not to drown. That's how that
Okay.
works. But yeah, unfortunately, Stan Sizzle did debut it. So we don't talk about a lot of stuff happened during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I took some acid and I was watching our TNA pay-per-view with a bunch of wrestling fans and one promoter who pulled out the Bible and was studying the Old Testament. I was on acid, but this was real. Like I needed to verify later on. I was like, was that imagined but because I love the fact that like this is also the thing about my life. I forget that these stories are real. Like I'd like to think my life is a CBS sitcom. 21 minutes, light laughs. Most of the time it's shameless. It is Showtime
It's
shameless,
HBO.
unfortunately.
It's Showtime.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. Like there's little moments where I'm like, oh yeah, that time that that thing happened when you were 9 from that doctor, yeah, that wasn't appropriate. But did it scar you enough? Do you even know if that was what you think it? Huh. Okay. See, like I got real problems that's why I'm gonna piss people off when I come back in wrestling when they try to bullshit about their little weak ass shit. I'm like, yeah, you're a little insecure bitch. What'd you call me? Do I have to repeat myself? Do I have to go slower? I don't know another language. But I love that I can go back to different years of Holden Albright and go, oh, that's Ryan Maker's Holden Albright. The future is Albright of like early prize fighter. And then I embraced, and it was right before the Fiend character because I had to deal with so many wrestlers, especially, and they meant well. They're like, oh, you did this better than the Fiend and whatever. And it's like, I'm doing my thing here. They're doing their thing there. We're not really similar stuff. But finding that character and just embracing it and leaning instead of just doing the spooky and creepy, and like I do love the occult, but I was also smart enough to realize I need to start a podcast called This Is Brendan so I don't Heath Ledger myself and go too crazy.
Thank God, yes.
And yeah, I'm still here, luckily. But what happened though was being able to develop that character and be like low-key strong style, but having like a WWE character as to it. The fans loved it. They also, I always respect wrestling, so the fans always, and I said, I'm a fan first, a wrestler second. There's a great line I love that an entertainer is just someone who chose to take control of their art. And
Crazy.
there's all these like little things like that, and I got to develop the character. Someone coined the term big scary for me, so I ran with it. Thank you. I think that was Manpreet, Tall Chicken Boy on Instagram. But what I even found out later on, it was a problem with the Fiend character. The Fiend couldn't die. The Fiend didn't like really stay down. It wasn't that he
Right.
didn't sell, because also this is a year and 6 months from now, I'm gonna start pissing off like wrestling fans and shit like that. Like, I don't like when a wrestling fan goes, "Oh, this person doesn't sell enough." You do realize if you fire up in a fighting spirit spot, that is selling. That you have the selling isn't just "ow, my ear," like. And then I love a motherfucker that goes, this person's unsafe, and they've never been in the ring with them. You don't know if they're unsafe. And guess what? You now believe that they might hurt their opponent. Like, just live in it, just breathe in it. But I accidentally, and it goes back to the title run I had. I knew because I watched a couple other long title reigns because I was told you're gonna hold the title for like 12 months. And at the same time, Crossbody started doing these showcase shows that were like Friday night, here's a hard cam, an hour and a half, no intermission. Whoever shows up can wrestle. And you had veterans to young guys, and it was great. And so I was able to defend the title the most anyone else had. I then had the longest reign, but I told the promoter at the time, hey, heads up, like I'm starting this as a babyface, and also like I didn't turn babyface. Josh just beat the shit out of me that people felt bad for me. So, but by the end of this, people are going to be bored, and they weren't really bored, but at the same time, Gabriel Fuerza was being built up. And I'm like, oh, that's who I'm going to lose a belt with. We had like a little bit of an alliance. We didn't have a tag team or a faction, but we were cohorts. And then there's a tournament, very much like a G1 style tournament that the winner could challenge for the title. I'm a fighting champion. So I decide to enter the tournament. The final match, it's great. Me and Fuerza go to a time limit draw. We're given 5 more minutes, ends with like a roll up. And then it's like, okay, we're gonna have the match, and I don't remember the timeline exactly. I think we only had the one match, yeah, because I wrestle Mike. So it's Money in the Bank style. He has this title match whenever he wants. So we do that in December. Whatever happens in January happens, and then February for Family Day, I wrestle Mike Bailey. Once again, Mike Bailey beats the shit out of me. It's awesome. It's great. And then Fuerza comes out at the end, and he goes, yeah, good job tonight, bro. But next month, I'm cashing it in. And I don't remember if I said 2 out of 3 falls at that point, or if I just said good luck, bitch, or some shit like that. But then the pandemic happened. We were supposed to wrestle like a week after the lockdowns. And I don't even know if it was going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match. I think it was just going to be a match. Like we did the uh count out into a 5 extra minutes thing, but I think at that point it was just going to be a match. It might have gone 60 minutes, but I'm not even sure when I'm thinking back on the timeline. Because then we don't, that's supposed to happen March 2020. We don't have the match until possibly March 2022. Yeah, because Crossbody comes back a little bit, but they're doing mostly the Uproar and Showcase shows, and then the main shows start coming back. And it wasn't until, yeah, because there's like 1 or 2 shows, but we were building it up so we could have like a full house. We do and I take full credit for this. We filmed a Rock Austin homage sit down promo between me and him. It's
No.
on the
Yeah, can we
YouTube
see it online?
channel.
I want to know where that is. That's
Yeah,
so sick.
go to Crossbody's YouTube. You can find all this unless it got unlisted, which I hope it didn't. Which after this, I'm gonna go and make sure I download it off the YouTube to
Yes.
make sure. But what happened though was like I kept saying, oh, if you think I'm gonna lose the title in under 60 minutes, you're wrong. So I teased we were gonna go long. I don't remember how the 2 out of 3 falls came. I know it was my idea because I loved. A lot of people will say this, so I can't even credit a person, but most people say Iron Man matches are fucking boring because it's only until the last 10 minutes that you care. Like you can
Right.
skip through, you can see the highlights. What I love though, and it's low key my specialty match because I've talked to some promoters because I'm coming back and I have to
Mm.
pitch ideas and give them shit.
Yeah.
I love that a 2 out of 3 falls match, any match really, can go 60 plus minutes. Like, shout out AEW for making that a normality thing on television now.
True.
But like the 2 out of 3 falls of like CM Punk and Chris Hero and like a whole bunch of them. And like I was teasing it of like putting up photos of all these super long 2 out of 3 falls matches and super long matches. Because if you're a fan in there, you don't know how long the match is going to go. You're just going to
Yep.
enjoy it. And as long as we give you a good ride, and I think we went 61 minutes, we just went past. And to be
Holy.
completely honest, my intention of that long ass match was a thank you to Josh of like other people besides you can do it and we're like honoring you. And then it was a fuck you to some other like shitty older veterans that just wrestled lazy and didn't think any of the new guys could do it. So it's just like I'll never win a dick measuring contest, but goddamn, I got some big balls.
Yeah.
So it was just to prove a point, and like low key, to be honest, the match kind of I got hardwayed with the chair. Once again, this goes into the good bad wrestler kind of thing. I bladed and then I got hardwayed, so I'm bleeding, but I'm not bleeding from where I cut. So I was
Oh.
very confused, and I chipped my tooth also.
Oh,
So I
no.
didn't know if like I just Mick Foley'd my mouth.
Oh.
And I roll out of the ring. I go grab thumbtacks because I'm an idiot. We go into the match, and then the promoter's like, "We need to end it." And like I low key I did kick out at 3, and like because it wasn't the finish. Like it wasn't a 3, it was a 2.5. But called the end of the match. Whatever. We went 61 minutes. There's a moment after the match. I'm on my knees looking at Forza. I'm bleeding. There's a great there's a person, Hannah, shout out Midwonder. She actually drew like a sketch of me on my knees. I look like the Virgin Mary crying blood because it was only like
Crazy.
driplets. It wasn't even like a crimson mask.
But still,
And
it's
I'm
sick.
looking. Oh, it was great because I'm looking at him. Alexia Nicole comes in, who is a part of our little alliance. She's congratulating him. He's looking at me. We didn't have a blood feud. We're just two buddies that needed to see who was the best that night. He's crying because he's emotional. I'm like, we didn't finish the match, but this is like a 3-year story that we wrapped up. And I'm just like, sweet, we're done. And it wasn't until later on that Forza mentioned to me of like he was so emotional because of like how hard we worked for that match. And then I
Damn.
realized, going back to apparently character stuff, which where this started 25 minutes ago, the big scary Holden Albright character, and I only got to do it one other time in Barry Wrestling with Van Landen actually. And it's the benefit of the big scary Holden Albright is I can't, it's not that I can't die, but it's because you have to dig down deep into a darkness in you, and then you now have to go on the rest of your life knowing what you can do. And it's
Yeah.
that because people don't realize the yin and the yang. The reason why there's that little black and the white and the little white and black is that little bit of good and evil and that little bit of evil and good. And it's like I'm gonna just wrestle really goddamn hard, and if you can kill Holden Albright tonight, congratulations, but you are now. And like low key, that's what people brought up about Scott Hall, of like he did shoot a man to death when he was a bouncer, and that kind of fed into his addiction issues.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it then, and then I tried to retire, but the retirement was a joke because I started entering middle-aged white status and watched The Sopranos, so I called him Sopranos Albright, golf pants and a dress shirt. I wanted it to look like two uncles fighting on the driveway during dinner, and now when I come back, I'm Outlaw Holden Albright, which is just actually, yeah, I guess I could do it now.
Let's go.
It's just it's Cowboy Albright. How did JR have his headphones on with this?
That's
So,
a sick
Cowboy
look. Yo, the
Albright
cowboy hat
now.
is perfect, man. If it's perfect, looks great. Let's
Bro,
go.
it was $150.
Oh, so it's a legit one then. Is this Stetson or what?
No, dude, those are like 800. Like I went to a real cowboy store. Like I never felt like a bottom before I went in there and saw all these like real men. And I was like, oh yeah, this ain't me. But like the cowboy boots started at 400, and
Holy
like the
shit.
cowboy hats, like this, I think it does fit, but it doesn't fit exactly what it's supposed to. So shout out any fans that watch this. Let me wear it a couple times, and then you can e-transfer me $150. I'll give it to you. I don't want to make profit off of it. I just want to get the proper sizing for it. Also, cowboy hats are real goddamn stiff.
Is it beaver fur as well? OG?
I think it's bull. I think it's bull hide.
Damn, it's a sick hat, man. I'm excited for this character. It's gonna be sick. But see, you put a lot of work into the characters, and you put that in, and
I
that's
can't
why
wear
it
the
comes
hat.
through.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
How
You
did
were
JR
mentioning-
do this?
Yeah, I don't know if he had a special hat. Did it have the cutouts, like special headphones? I don't know what he was doing. Are there? So is that a normal thing? Like the plan can just change. There can be a 3 count at the wrong time. Is that something normal in indies that something goes right and you just got to call a complete ending to the match differently, or sometimes it ends by accident, or is that more of a rarity?
So, unfortunately, and it's even on television wrestling, I love like 2008 to 2014 in the WWE, the referees were told treat it like a shoot. So a couple of people have gone shoot,
Beautiful.
counted out. Chelsea Green actually got counted out accidentally.
Yeah, that was funny.
but there's a lot of 3 counts that get paused now.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, their shoulders up or whatever. And it's like,
They'll swipe and miss before the kick out. They go
Yeah.
1, 2, swipe and miss, then the kick out happens. They've already, and it's a zoom in. Don't give me that shot. Then.
Yep.
Give me the pan out shot. Like,
yep. And I just go, it's the wrestler's fault. Like, I do believe, like, I'll never put heat on the ref of, like, no, there is sometimes. There was one time in particular that a referee, Mark Wheeler, we had a tag match and nose got busted open. I asked for, like, paper towels. I grabbed it from him because we were, like, shitty heels. And the referee, like, bulked up to me. And there's these little moments. I'm not trying, okay, 5 years ago, I wasn't trying to fight people. Now I'm trying to fight people. I'll be completely honest. I'm trying to fight people. But 5 years ago, I wasn't. And he bulked up to me. And I looked at him. I'm like, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm like, either get the fuck away from me or we're going to do something. And like, I don't remember how it went, but it didn't. Like, there's this moment where like Holden Albright, Brendan Caulfield, like this wasn't wrestling. This was, if you shit on my character. I think that's also what, like, I take my character serious enough that like, there is a lot of good comedy wrestlers. There's a lot of shitty wrestlers that try to do comedy spots. I have a rule of thumb. If a wrestler says, do you know what will be funny? In my head, because I try not to say it out loud. I've tried to learn that more in my life. But I hear, you want to know what's not going to get over? Especially when it's like, you do this, and then I'll say banana. And like, you're a fan, you've gone to shows, you know you've seen this, where it's just like, flow, banana. And you're like, what?
No.
Why are we doing this? So like, I've taken the character seriously enough, and right now, because I needed as we record this Saturday, I'm returning, And my gear is literally going to be I look like Homer Simpson when I wrestle, I realized, because I was thinking about this the other day. It's going to be basically this white t-shirt. I got like 10 of them. Blue jeans and boots. I'm going to look like Homer Simpson when I wrestle. I understand. It's Homer Simpson with a cowboy hat. I get it. But that's also a thing of like get my own self-deprecation of like, you can't get me because I got me.
Right. I feel
And it's going to be, I'm coming out. I'm not coming out through the curtain. I'm coming out through a side door, front door with a cigar. And I want it to look like my fight took place in between the cigar session and the parking lot. Like, I'm coming out here to fight you to get paid. I'm going right back to the parking lot. The reason I'm not entering the curtain is everyone else does that. It's not that I don't like most of the other wrestlers, but goddamn, I can say I don't trust most of them. And by trust, I don't mean they're going to hurt me in the ring. Go ahead and fucking try. I don't like, go ahead. But like, it's the fact of what I mean by trust is if you behave, I will respect an honest asshole more than a fake nice person every day of the week. I love the waiter test with friends or like dating. And so it's like how you treat people. If my name gets brought up in a room and someone criticizes me in a way that's just basically, Brendan was mean when he was honest, yeah, go fuck yourself. But if you're like not defending my name in that room, no, I don't trust you. It's like, hey, it's cool. You keep your distance. I don't need to be near you, but I just want you to be honest. So when I come back, at some point, it might be next Monday, I'm going to create a new series of just videos of me with my cowboy hat and a cigar on Monday morning called Monday Morning Heat. And it's going to be, I don't trust, all these wrestlers will say blah, blah. Oh, okay, this is going to be the first one. I'll clip it out. This will be Monday Morning Heat of, I see a lot of wrestlers post on Facebook specifically, oh, my friends and family have never seen me wrestle. I'm the type of dude, I watched the whole show. I didn't wrestle for 550 days. I still went to some shows. I've watched the shows. I've seen them wrestle. They should be happy their friends and family haven't. And the way I'm always going to end these Monday Morning Heat, you always have two choices in wrestling. Either go to training and get better, because you can't control how many times you get booked, but you can control how many times you're in the ring. In Montreal, you have IWS, you have the Keep just across the border in Ottawa. In Southern Ontario, we have New Wave Academy. We have Hamilton Pro Wrestling. There's a couple other random pop-up spots that like you can find ring time. You can train more than you can watch weekly wrestling in 2025 in Southern Ontario. Take advantage of that. Or just quit wrestling, because living whatever miserable life they fucking have without being a shitty wrestler, I'm sure will do wonders for their mental health.
Come be a jobber with me, man. 9 to 5. Job the life and become a wrestling fan and complain on the internet.
Just enjoy it. I love wrestling.
Exactly. Are there, and I've talked to some other wrestlers on it, like Phantom, for example. There's a few people that have said, we won't say any names, that have said that he's, unsafe or dangerous. Is that like a common thing? Do you hear that? Or do you hear that about other wrestlers? Does it get around that people are unsafe? Or do you know who's safe and who's not? Or, do you just trust everybody before you get in there?
People are too nice to call people pussies, though. Like, I feel like you got to go both ends of that spectrum. You can't just go, like, nobody writes a good Yelp review. It's always bad service.
True.
So, like, sometimes, and I will give credit where credit's due. I've heard it a few times from people, and they'll be like, wow, that guy, blah, 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 but I got to admit, I'm a little bit of a pussy. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you for the honest. 50 Cent was on, I think, Andrew Schultz's podcast. And 50 Cent's one of my inspirations for the current one.
No
He was telling
way.
a story. He's at a club. He's at a club with DJ Woo Kid. And he's in the back. Some gunshots go off. DJ Woo Kid runs to the back, goes to 50. He goes, they're shooting in the club. It's like, and it's like, what? It's like, you ran away. It's like, yeah. It's like, you pussy? He's like, yeah, I'm a pussy. It's like, you got to respect the honesty.
That's it.
Like, I will say, I wrestled Phantom, and like, I felt it. We did some crazy shit, but I didn't die. And once again, having a bloody nose and a good, because I also think you're a pussy if you fucking post a photo of your chest after chops. Like, I told someone over the weekend, I was hanging out at Barry Wrestling. It was an old text with Forza during the pandemic. I just got high, had a thought, and just went, you're not allowed to be afraid of chops if you slap your leg, because it's the same goddamn thing. And then also, like, if you can't throw a good punch, throw forearms. If you're afraid, like, there are some people, and I don't know who these people are, and maybe I've dropped into their classes and rolled my eyes in my head, but if you ever say no chops in training, you're not trying to be a good wrestler. Like, train like you play. If you're going to do it on Saturday night, do it Tuesday night at training.
Mm. You got to warm up your chest for that, right? I mean,
Yes.
is that a thing? You don't want to get that first shot in the ring, get winded, or get that pain and be like, "What is this?"
Yeah. Once again, you need to know the level of pussy you are.
Know the level of pussy. That's it.
You gotta know how deep it is. You gotta know how deep.
Yeah.
Like, we're all pussies of some regard. If someone points a gun at me, I'm not gonna be a fan.
Yeah,
I'm be like,
yeah, gun is the ultimate. It's like, all right, well,
I will say, because the old joke of the guns don't kill people, people kill people is like, I am not afraid of a gun. I'm afraid of a bullet in a gun. But
yeah.
god damn, I'm afraid of knives. Like, that's the bit you stab, twist. I will say I don't think he wants his name probably shared to this, but he's given me so much false hope and possibly a little bit of why I don't want to ever dip under 230 or 220. He's a wrestler from the Quebec area. He once was at a club and someone yelled, or he yelled, "I wonder what it's like to be stabbed." And someone's like, "You want to know what it's like to be stabbed?" And he's like, "Yeah." And everyone just started yelling and like rushing away. And it wasn't until the dude left he realized he was bleeding. But because he was such a heftier dude, the wound kind of just like
No, it couldn't get to any organs because there's a certain,
yeah, but like, but also like, but it closed too. Like, it just like, so I have this false belief that if someone stabs me in the right place, it's just gonna close itself.
Unless it's New Jack, he knows how to stab people, right? So if you ever,
They never murdered anyone stabbing them. He murdered
That's
people,
true.
justified homicides while being a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And you want to know what? 2025, I'll let New Jack stab me. Like, I don't think his bones or his anime dead body or cremation will happen, so I'll put that out there.
With the boom of AI, man, you might have just fucked up. I don't know. We'll see.
I was
reanimate New Jack.
Earlier.
It'll be the first person they reanimate.
Would that be like Futurama of the new New York? Would that be the new Jack?
Yeah.
He's in fucking 2K this year, apparently.
No way. Are you serious?
Yeah, he's in an apparently Nick Khan's a big New Jack mark.
Wow.
And they actually have like two versions of it. Like, if he does a hardcore match, his music will play during it.
Oh, that's pretty sick. At least you're adding a little something to it, I guess. Maybe it'll go to his estate or something. What about
Yes.
intergender wrestling? How do you feel about that? Is it because it happens in the indies a lot, but it's not something we've seen at the highest level. Would that ever happen? Are you okay with it? Like, what's your thoughts?
So I loved intergender wrestling, not because I'm a creep. Sorry, I saw a Joey Ryan video earlier today. I think intergender wrestling served its point, especially like I told someone over the weekend that the way I get people booked is by saying I'll wrestle them. It's like, because most bookings happens like they're in the carpool or whatever. And I remember I had a discussion with the promoter after a show, and I just go, "Why don't you book this person?" And they go, "Well, I'm not." I was like, "I'll wrestle them." And so that happened with me and Alexia Nicole for, I believe, a promotion called Border Town Wrestling, like 2018, 2019. And got her booked. I wrestled her.
Amazing.
In the mid 2000s, because there was a big discussion I was seeing on Twitter of like Shimmer getting like a little bit of like their flowers with Evolution happening, and Athena mentioning a lot that there was only like 3 girls in the territory and you either wrestled each other, no one was being flown anywhere. And when I started wrestling a decade ago, there was basically 4 women in the territory,
Right.
and you end up wrestling each other. And intergender wrestling works because we all train together. Like, I'm taking a body slam from the 400-pound man as well as the 200-pound guy as well as the 100-pound girl. Like, that's how we learn to work, brother. But like, at that point, when your roster is like 15 people and 2 of them are women, you need to do intergender wrestling. I think in television wrestling in particular, you don't need intergender wrestling because you have rosters. You can have stories. AEW has 2 successful women's divisions of like, there are enough to work with each other. I think in 2025, I don't frown upon intergender wrestling because at the end of the day, it is professional wrestling. I think about wrestling. Okay, so when I come up with ideas for wrestling, I'm like negotiating with my opponent. I'm always a big level one, level two, level three guy of like, what's
Hmm.
your first idea? Cool. Can you come up with another idea? Okay, what about a third version of that? Because most people are staying on that surface level and they're not thinking of the alternative or the alternative. And I
That's really nice.
realized for any wrestlers that listen to this, here's a little cheat code. Tease your finisher. Don't hit it at the beginning of the match, but you hit a signature and you miss it later on. That's the difference between a finisher and a signature. A signature
Mm.
you can hit, but you don't win a match with it. A finisher you hit one time and you win it. That doesn't mean you don't tease it and such like that. But I also, for the last like 2 years when I was wrestling, I did like 8 things. Like I could pull out the 30 other things, but I don't need more than a lariat and a back fist and a couple suplexes. We can build a match. I'm going to beat the shit out of you. I'm going to give you the opportunity to beat the shit out of me, and we'll go from there. But nowadays, I think in 2025, there are, especially when I look at IWS's WWS, I believe is the initials for their women's
Yeah.
wrestling syndicate. In Ontario, we have quite a few girls splattered out throughout all of North America and the world. Kingsley's visiting Canada at the moment. She's from Australia, I believe. Like, your roster should be deep enough that the women can wrestle the women. That doesn't mean you don't have like exchanges here or there, but also there's a weird thing of a woman is not a child, and like there's a weird protect this little girl who's 22. Like, don't treat them like they're 12 and they're this innocent person. Some of the crudest people I know are women, and they're not even 25. Well, when I stopped interacting with them, I was 25, and that's when we stopped. But like, they're like, especially they're just not children. Intergender wrestling's fine if there's a reason for it, but
Yeah, if it fits the story, yeah.
we also have to admit the fucking YouTube views are mostly creeps. So what do you want in your audience? Creeps or not creeps?
Yeah, it's tough, and there's a size difference, of course, but you can wrestle through that. You can tell the story. It doesn't matter if it's a guy or a girl,
Yes.
size-wise, whatever it is. You play that story regardless, right? So, yeah, it makes sense as long as it fits the story. I think it could work.
That's what I was gonna like hit the nail on of like your match from me wrestling a Mark Wheeler, Gabriel Forza, Von Vertigo is one way.
Hmm.
Me wrestling Alexia Nicole now, my favorite match I had, I'm so happy it was my last match before the pandemic. I wrestled Addie Starr, and it was for basically a family friendly show. And I
Hmm.
even had a talk with her of like, she loves like all Japan stuff.
Hmm.
And we're calling the match and she's coming up with some haha. And I'm like, but you like Japanese style. Like we can do. So I was like, no, they don't want all Japan. They want haha. And I told her, like, there's these little moments where I realized like how confident I was. And I just went, they don't know what they want until we give it to them. And I give Josh credit of like most intergender matches are building up to a punch or a kick to the girl.
Right.
And it's like, oh no. Josh told me at that point, Josh Alexander, of don't hit her. And I was like, wait, what? And it's like, yeah, there's going to be people in the audience that if they see a man versus a woman, they might have been the victims or the witness of like domestic violence. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. So you mean I should just give body slams? And like, I gave her some chops or like clubs to the back, but I never punched her. I love like I chopped her in the stomach and on the thighs. She's not a fucking pussy, so she didn't complain about any of that. And then like we had this banger of a match that was just so fucking fun that I love that it was my last match before the lockdowns. And then
Amazing.
during the pandemic, Barry Wrestling had like this tournament in a closed set, and Addie Starr was announced as one of the participants. And this is when my shitheadness came out. One of the fans was like, "Oh, who's gonna believe Addie Starr could wrestle a guy who's like 200 pounds?" And I replied with the video link. I'm like, "Yeah, how unbelievable would it be for her to beat a dude that's 300 pounds?" And she just messaged me and she's like, "You're my favorite person." It's like, yeah.
So good.
Here's my problem with society right now. At least
Yeah.
when I was younger, people hid their stupidity.
Right.
Now it's on the surface. How am I not supposed? Like, at least before people were like, I'm not whatever, but then they'll say something vaguely whatever. Now people will say, I'm not racist, but I don't think this race should exist. And it's like, you're not even covering it up.
No.
Can you put some effort in? Don't make
the
me
new world.
repeat your words. Because once again, that's why I said 6 months. This
Was
is
it save the jokes or was it just be openly racist? What did you want? Because we need to save the jokes, yes, but it's not an excuse just to be unfunny.
yes, dude. That's what I used to say before I started doing comedy again. As a
Because
fan of
you did
comedy,
stand up comedy, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I got back into it a couple of years ago after my dad died. But like, I started saying before, because a lot of people just do like a goofy voice and they're like, oh, I'm like, the fuck is this? Because I'm not watching like those shitty YouTube videos. And I was like, as a fan of comedy, I'm offended. But like,
Yes.
I brought this up. You could cut this out of the podcast or not, but this is just a funny thing that fits this of what I realized. I love the trend of social media from like 2019 to 2023 of
Mm.
mostly like LGBT talent that would be like wrestling's for everyone, but then when they realize that they're competing in this box with other LGBT talent, they start like infighting. And they're like, it's not for everyone. Not everyone can do this. And it's just like, it's so funny to see just the acceptance and then going, wait a minute, I created competition. I'm not confident in my own abilities. I gotta challenge this.
That's like me going to like an audition and seeing like there's like usually a stack of paper they divide it out between like different looks or whatever, and there's usually
Yep.
only one that's for the redhead, you know. So at least I'm like, but if I see like a second one or a third one, if they walk in they have dyed hair, I'm like, the fuck's going on here? It's as if I started
Have you
being
ever
like,
sat in the room with a bunch of versions of yourself?
only I'll see like a couple. I haven't been to one that's like it has to be a ginger, where it's like we will take a ginger, we will accept one. We're open to that for this role. It's ginger and
Ginger
others.
curious.
You know? Yeah, exactly. They'll accept that. Now, one thing, I don't want to keep you too long because we've already gone over the hour, which I really appreciate you sticking around for. It's
I talk
almost
too
as long
much,
as one of
bro.
your matches. Just like a few things about wrestling because I know you grew up as a fan. Number one, where did it all start? Because we talked about it a little bit. You've been a fan for a long time. And number two, I need to know your Rushmore of wrestling.
Okay.
It can be your favorite.
So
It doesn't have to be who's the absolute goats based on stats and wins, and it's whatever you're feeling.
full disclosure, because I just also want to give people possible ammunitions to come at me because I don't. I correct people when they sometimes say I said something offensive because I correct them the proper way I was offensive because it's funnier that way. I'm like, no, I put this there and then I said this. But like, I will admit, like years ago, I did used to say on my Mount Rushmore of important wrestling figures, I did have like Undertaker and Vince McMahon there because like Undertaker was like the definitive gimmick
Yep.
that lasted so long, and Vince McMahon like made wrestling mainstream. But then in the past few years, and not the obvious reasons, but on the other side, which like I've done some work for some extra work for Dark Side of the Ring and like stuff like that.
Oh, no way. That's sick.
It's so fun. But what's funny is like you don't like history being written by the winners is so fucking real when it comes to especially WWE history.
True,
And like
yeah.
in Ontario, at least in Canada for the most part, we're WWF territory. So like we're getting that. We don't really care about WCW. But then like when you hear about all this stuff, that's like WrestleMania was a big thing. It's like, yeah, but also like this was done in Georgia 3 years beforehand, and they did this down here.
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, Hogan or Andre was taking body slams from Greg Valentine and Harley Race and stuff like when you start seeing like that wideness of it, that's like so my dad was a wrestling fan, so I can't pinpoint the
Same with
moment
me,
that
yeah.
it was just on, and then
Yeah.
I started watching it. Like I turned 4 in November, the year Stone Cold wins the King of the Ring. So
Wow.
I can't, there's no way that I can confidently say just out of Ringmaster Stone Cold Steve Austin was my favorite wrestler. But like when I'm 8 and 99 and he's doing his stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, like my family's fucked up. I wasn't allowed to watch South Park, but my favorite VHS tape was Austin 316 Uncensored. Like I taught the kids in grade 3, like you can swear because you won't be arrested. What I didn't realize, because like being arrested isn't real in grade 3, but the principal's office is. You'll still go there. And
Yeah.
every now and then, I don't know if you do this, but because I do swear and I use some weird metaphors, I remember a moment when I'm young and I was just like, yeah, it was fucked up. And I was like, what the hell? Or what the
Yeah.
fuck? Or holy shit. And I'm like, no, I don't think I knew how to use the swear word properly. So it was probably like holy fuck or what the shit. Like it wasn't
Yeah,
the
it's true.
proper way.
I would like to
But
get some video of like how did I swear when I was younger. I definitely didn't
oh
talk like this with as much swearing and looping, intertwining it into my vocabulary so
yes.
consistently.
It's such a fluid language with cursing in there.
Yeah.
Um Especially like when someone because I'm a Stone Cold Mark, which by the way, he's on my Mount Rushmore. I have a fucking smoking skull tattoo on my goddamn leg.
Let's go.
Uh, but what happened was like how witty he was. Of like when someone's like, Brendan, you can't swear. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. Fuck. Ah, shit. Goddamn. And it's like, oof. Like I love like those little things. And then
Yeah.
if you get offended by people swear, I got a whole stand-up bit on people like words to me are crazy. Like we
Yeah.
can communicate right now. We're creating content with our word. I came to this realization today and I'm going with it for the rest of my fucking life. The same thing that's gotten me in more trouble than ever in my life has also made me money, and it's my fucking mouth. So I'm gonna not give a fuck about pissing people off if they're not paying my bills. But it's so weird that these random sound like I always think about my pets and
Mm.
it's like you don't know what I'm saying. Like you don't know the Google definition of stay or outside, but you know the actions required. So like
Mm.
language is such a weird thing. And like I don't know why I'm going down this random social stuff.
I
But
love it.
like I like you're older like me of when we were younger, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. A stick has never broken my bone, and I'm not a by the way, I'm not Mike Tyson tough when I say I'm not looking for I'm Homer Simpson tough. I just haven't like I'm dumb. The old Jackass song, if you're gonna be stupid, you gotta be tough. And in my stand-up bit I have is sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's bullshit. Sticks have never broken my bones or stones. And don't bring up like a boulder crushing Indiana Jones. That doesn't count as a stone. But then words do hurt. But a word will never goddamn kill you. There's
True.
never been a cause of death called whatever. You were maybe assaulted or murdered when it was being called, but the
Yeah.
coroner's report never says. Which, by the way, I'm so happy that I just did a PG version of that joke because that's a hard R-rated 18A joke. But back to wrestling. My Mount Rushmore would be
Uh,
Mick Foley because as a human he's a great dude, and then his
mhm.
character work and just so much. Stone Cold because I'm a Stone Cold Mark. Mount Rushmore, 4 people. I need to give, and I'll do an asterisk of why. John Moxley's on my Mount Rushmore.
Whoa. Okay.
And it's not even like I appreciate his ring work, but there's stuff that he said when he quit the WWE. And fuck it, I love the guy. I'll say CM Punk. There's a
Yay.
couple
Let's
people I
go.
know that are CM Punk fans, and they like bitch and moan on Facebook about other like wrestlers in the area. Like it's just a whole bunch. I got a new rule that I'm not allowed to have prolonged heat or beef with people that I would have to explain who they are to Chris Van Vliet. That's my new
Oh,
rule. Because
nice.
Eric Young had a podcast with Chris, and he mentioned someone that broke his arm in training. I know who that person is. They're still relevant.
No way.
Relevant is a
Okay.
own little
Okay.
bubble.
They're still
Own little
around.
bubble. Like, knowing you leave that part-time job when you're 15, but that person stays there. Like, they're
Yeah.
not dead, but they're not relevant.
For sure.
Relevant and prelevant are two different words. And
Yes.
he still exists. It's like, oh, Eric Young was like, yeah, I think that kid quit. It's like, unfortunately, he didn't. He made some people's lives. I can't say a living hell because he's too much of a pussy. But like stuff like this. But like there are people who idolize CM Punk. I used to joke that my favorite wrestlers all quit the WWE. Of CM Punk, Stone Cold, Chris Benoit, they all quit.
In their own ways.
Yep, you got it. I like sneaking that one in, but it is and I was telling this to a younger guy recently. I was like talking about standing up for himself, pitching his ideas and stuff like that. Of I think to be successful, you have to be willing to quit. And CM Punk quit because, and when I was coaching people, and I would ask, "What's your goal?" Because if they want to go to the WWE, I'm going to tell them you have to hit all these drills perfect. But if you just want to learn wrestling and do it as like rec league soccer,
Mm.
have fun, don't get hurt. But when people go, I want to make it. I'm a dude. I'm like, the fuck does that mean? Like, I'm too dumb. You got to give me specifics. Don't say, here's food. I'm like, am I
Yeah.
allergic to this food? Do I want this food? And the benefit of modern day wrestling. And it's why I'm like very sympathetic to the veterans that started 5, 10 years before me. They didn't have options. They had developmental deal, and hopefully I can make money in wrestling. And that's why also I'll admit I think most fucking 2000s wrestlers had no gimmick, because you're learning to be packaged at OVW or sent to whatever developmental. Like, you will be given, you're a chef. So you don't
Right.
develop your own kind of thing. Whereas nowadays, you can make $100,000 a year by being an independent wrestler. You have to work really goddamn hard. But then also, if you're real successful, wrestling hasn't been more profitable than ever in history right now. You could make millions, not a million, millions of dollars guaranteed. So it's what do you mean making it? Because also, are you okay being a journeyman wrestler that's respected by people, but most people don't know their names, but they are known by the other wrestlers? Or is making it WrestleMania? Because CM Punk quit because he didn't fucking main event WrestleMania. He was one of the top draws at the time. He's like, cool, thanks for giving me The Undertaker, but peace out, I'm hurt, bro.
Yeah.
And then with John Moxley, he didn't quit wrestling. He told WWE, I'm not re-signing my contract. And then he did an interview. I don't remember if it was a Wade Keller interview or a Chris Jericho interview. And he said, if wrestling ended today, I would start a wrestling school to train my opponents. And that
Wow.
dude cared so much about fucking wrestling that he would train his opponents so he could continue to wrestle. And I don't think anyone brings up that quote, but also
Never.
people aren't dumb like me and listening to all this stuff. And it's like, and
But that's,
you
if you
know,
weren't listening, that gold wouldn't come out. Someone's got to listen to it.
I have to take away that self-deprecating thing of the dumb. I'm now acknowledging that the success I got, which goes back to like an hour ago of this, came with my obsession with this. Of like, I wanted to get better. I watched my stuff back. When I said I'm a fan first and a wrestler second, I think most wrestlers don't watch their stuff back because they want to do luchador stuff, but they're doing chain wrestling. They want to do hardcore stuff, but they're doing lucha stuff and high flying stuff. And it's like, if you don't do the wrestling you like, you're not going to want to watch it back. And like, that's the biggest thing of like, people aren't trying to get better. They're just trying to say, and this is going to be one of my lines when I come back of like, there's a lot of people that are in 2025, because people want to say, you don't look like a wrestler, blah, blah, blah. It's like, in 2025, you can get your gear made by the same person that makes gear for someone on TV. That doesn't mean you're on TV. Cool. You're wearing the same material that successful motherfucker is. I don't need to dress like a wrestler and pretend to be a wrestler to be a fucking wrestler. And I'll show you that by just wearing a goddamn cowboy hat, a white t-shirt, and jeans.
That's fucking sick, man. The parallels and the parity between the acting world and the wrestling world is so huge. Telling me all these stories and like going to acting school, and every single new kid that came in, it's like, why do you want to be here? Why do you want to be in class? Like when I first signed up, it was like, I just want to be an actor. I don't know where this is going. I don't know why. Yep. Something in me is telling me I need to do this right now, and that's where I'm going. Where a lot of people come in, they said, I'm going to be the next Brad Pitt. I'm going to be the next Angelina Jolie. You sit down in a class to learn how to do the behind the scenes. Everyone is the next Tarantino, and I'm just like, I'll hold a camera, I'll hold a light. I don't care. Yep. I'll do anything. I just need to be a part of this right now. And a big thing is that you brought up is, even for you, so many of my acting friends, including myself, have stopped or paused or given up or whatever, moved on in life because, like you said, you have to have the time, right? You have to have that drive. You have to put in, everything else has to be secondary if you can, because some of us got to work. You got to do what you got to do.
Yep.
But how do you keep going and not giving up your passion, where so many of us have at our age?
Is that the question? Sorry.
Yeah. How have you kept it going when so many of us have given up?
So first off, I think having that mentality of, I don't know where this path is going to take me, but I'm going to take this. I'm a big, there's a buddy of mine, he's out in London, a great wrestler. If you need a personal trainer, I think he might be taking online clients right now. Tyler Turba. Me and him get lost a lot on hikes, like not together, like separately. And like, luckily Google Maps exists, but it's like, Yeah, we're just going for a walk or a hike or something. We don't know where we're going, but we know we have a few hours in the day. Like, I love going for a walk
That's so nice.
and setting a timer so that I know when to turn around. Of like, okay,
Wow.
I got like 3 hours, so I'm just gonna go until that clicks and then I turn around. I did on a bike a few times, got real lost, went too far sometimes. Bikes and hills, you go too fast going down, it takes you too long to come back. But what happened, like, I think, because what I always say is whenever I would drop into training classes or something, I don't want your best student. I want that like little chubby kid that always shows up to class. He gets there early and he stretches. He stays late. Sometimes they talk too much. Most of the time though, they're just real quiet and they're happy to be there. Of like, I know that that's a kid I want to help. And I don't even know how I can help him, but just giving him the attention of like, there's two different types of kids. There's the kids that they get mad at themselves that they can't do something right, so they want to repeat and repeat and repeat. And then there's the ones that can't do it right and they get mad that their trainer tells them to repeat it. And so like, at least for me, so I took the break January 2024 and I'm coming back July 2025. 547 days I think will be the official match to
Holy.
match count. I during the pandemic, I even realized like I didn't slow down. I just started creating more podcasts and more content and just went to like, I have a Patreon I started in 2022 that has 1,600 posts. And it's just mine. It's not like it was a
Amazing.
group thing. And like, I just did so much content. I went and I went hard. And this is the thing, like I brought up, like after my dad died, I went back to comedy. Of a lot of people, when they find out my dad died, they feel bad. I've recently not corrected them, but there was a time that I went, I found him dead. It's not like he just, my father. I think, and actually, shout out Bobby B. We do a monthly podcast, check GTA Wire on Spotify, called Dead Parent Society. We're
Yeah.
one pilot in, and we're doing it monthly now. August 1st, I'll be talking about my dad passing away, August 7th, 2023. In September, we're going to talk about his parent. And then every month, we're going to have someone new on to talk about their parents. And and in the pilot episodes, 30 minutes, we talk about how you should want to die after your parents. Like, your parents shouldn't bury their child.
Yep.
Like, so when people, and I do believe that in life, some people welcome grief. Like, there's a reason they can't go on. There's a great, you probably know who he is, Pan Oswalt,
Yeah, for
great
sure.
comedian and
Of course.
actor. His wife died, and she was like a famous true crime writer. She actually, I want to say it was a Golden Gate killer. She actually like discovered who he was, of like a 30-year-old cold case. And
What?
and
That's
I think
sick.
she died before the book was done, so her like co-partner
Oh,
had to
no
finish
way.
it. But she dies, and then he goes real sad. They have a daughter together, and then he just had this moment of thinking, my wife wouldn't want me to give up my passion and entertaining people. Of one death shouldn't kill two people. And then there's a great, because I love like motivational memes and I'll share them and such like that, but there's a great one of like a person above level and a skeleton at the bottom, like New Jack, like we mentioned earlier. But then the person above level has their head in the grave and they have a skull for a head. And it's just, don't let two people die just because one there was one funeral. And like, not enough people get past that. And like, it doesn't mean you forget,
Of
but
course.
it is the, you can't dwell on it. Like, even recently, of like, our generation was told no regrets. I think that that's bullshit. Like, a regret is a lesson learned. Like, if not everyone needs to touch the stove to know it's hot, but I have set the microwave on fire 3 different ways.
Yeah.
Like, don't put a fork in there, don't put a thermos in there, don't put tin foil. I learned those lessons apparently.
Yeah.
And I don't dwell on it though. And that's what people think a regret is, dwelling on that. It's like, no, as long as you're not spiraling, just go on.
It's okay to
And
think about it and not be distraught about it, to think about it, what happened, and learn from it. Because if you don't ever think about it, that could be detrimental as well. You don't want to, balance in life is so important.
more lessons are learned through failure than wins is like another
Facts.
line. And so for me, of like, I went, and I didn't realize it till halfway through 2023. So I find him dead 2022. And it's funny, I was coming back from IWS actually.
No
I,
way.
I find him dead the next morning, like 12 hours after I got home. And luckily, I knew people that fathers passed away or parents passed away. I've talked to them because I'm an idiot. I'm too much of a codependent person that I would call them and they're like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "How are you doing?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm doing yourself." I'm like, you know that scene in The Wizard of Oz when like the witch's feet are sticking out from under the house? Yeah, that's my dad's feet at the top of the stairs. I found him dead. And like I now know, especially like as a I always say like for maturity of like as a man you need to do this, but it's not a gender thing. Like
Mhm.
I don't say balls or pussy because balls is courage, pussy's coward. Oh, we can use a PG word to describe this that isn't gender specific? Sweet. But when I say to be a man, I mean a mature human.
Mhm.
Like that man isn't human. I'm not going like policeman versus police officer. Like no, not that bullshit. But like people don't fully realize that it's not fight or flight, it's fight, flight, or freeze. A lot of
Mm,
people freeze.
it's true.
I know that like I called 911. They didn't. I also slapped him a couple times to see if like he was asleep. I should have known he was dead because it's the one time I saw him sleeping without an erection. So like that's what I should. But that's also my coping method of how to like make any of this like funny.
No, of
But
course.
like I slapped him and I even mentioned like one of my first stand-up jokes was a lot of people lost stuff during the pandemic. I lost some stuff. My cat ran away. I don't know where he went. My dad passed away, but I know where he was. I found him dead. He was posed like a Hulk Hogan LJN action figure that's flexed up. Um, but I also I gained I lost my virginity and gained a truck. So when I look at the odds of that of like lost a cat, lost a dad, but gained a truck, gained a sex life, I think I broke even. Um, but like
I
I
would
know
trade the
like
sex life for the cat. You know, just
for the cat, yeah, the pussy for the pussy,
yeah.
yeah.
There we go.
Uh, I I gained and lost pussy. I never thought of it that way. That roulette wheel, like, uh, you want to know what? I got a new cat now. She's cute. Her name's
Oh,
Austin. Actually, I thought she was a boy for the
oh,
first few
no
weeks.
way!
Um,
Amazing.
she's popped up a couple times of just like eyeballing me, but like she does her own thing. And I'm just like, yeah, I live with you. You don't live with me.
Yeah.
But like I learned like in that moment I'm calling 911. I start dragging his body because I'm just gonna throw him in the back of his pickup truck and drive to the hospital that's down the
Oh my
street.
god.
And I'm just trying to get a hold of them. 911 finally picks up. They talk me through doing CPR. And most people don't know, like when you do CPR correctly, you crack their sternum. So like
Yep.
I knew I fucking broke that shit.
You felt it, yeah.
EMTs and a cop comes in. The EMT just look down. I was like, he's gone. So I gotta wait outside for like 4 hours while they investigate to make sure I didn't kill him, which
Oh my god.
understandable.
Yeah. No, it's
Understandable.
true.
But it's
Makes
also the
sense.
weirdness of like my neighbors and a couple of them coming over and stuff like that. Because especially during the pandemic, I bought a casket. I put that in the garage. My neighbor, like especially during the big scary time, my like goal was
It
if
just
I ever
looks so
became,
bad having a coffin there and everything ready to go. The cops must have been like, well,
dude, a lot of people did make that joke, so I appreciate
yeah,
everyone that made that joke.
for
But
sure.
I I wanted the reputation that like if they did the interview of the neighbors of, oh, did you know he was a murderer? I also know like you'll become a murderer or a serial killer if you have head trauma and like no sex life or family. And until fucking 2021, it was real close on there. 2021, 2020. It took a whole worldwide pandemic to find someone to say yes, which I'm a fan of consent. I have a joke that's like, whenever I have sex, I'm the last to know, which is great. When you look like this, you're a fucking predator. Uh, but what happened though is like, I wanted people who was like, oh, can you believe he was a murderer? It's like, I didn't know, but I'm not surprised. Like, I wanted that reputation.
Yeah.
So then though, of my dad dies, I start comedy, which I think did save my life of just like laughter and all of this. And because I'm always a fan first and a performer second, if I'm last on an open mic at 2 a.m. on a Thursday, I'm cool. I already watched everyone else go. I had a good time.
Hmm.
And then I'm going through 2023 and I can feel myself going through the motions. And there's like a brain fog. And I still haven't done it. I was trying to do it. On my podcast, I would do a year in review of just going over my matches, where my mind was, different funny antidotes.
That's sick.
And then in 2023, though, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't remember 3 months ago, and I just had no passion. And then I'm just like, and the biggest thing for me was I've never, I broke my hand one time in wrestling, and there was one booking that got taken away from me. I'm also, once again, the stupid tough thing. I didn't know I had a broken hand for 10 days. My hand looked like a softball, bro. I
Oh
couldn't
my God.
close it. I thought I just dislocated my finger. Like I was at training, someone was supposed to duck a clothesline, they back rolled, I punched the bottom of their boot. I grabbed wrist tape, taped it up. The weekend before I got it diagnosed, I had like 3 matches in one day.
You're crazy.
And then Tuesday, I go to work Monday, I'm like, my hand hurts, I'm gonna go to the walk-in. I go to sleep after going to the walk-in at 10 a.m. because I work overnights. I wake up to like 7 missed calls from this doctor. And they're a minute from closing. And they're like, oh, hey, I missed some calls. It's like, Brendan, your hand's broken. I'm like, oh. So what am I supposed to do? It's like, go to an ER and get it banded. So I text my group chat, and we had a little wrestler movie club thing where every Tuesday we would go watch a movie.
Oh, nice.
And what happened was I was like, hey guys, I'm not gonna make it to the gym. I broke my hand. They're like, oh, okay, rest up. I'm like, no, I'm gonna see you at the movie afterwards. I just gotta get done with the hospital. Priorities, bro. So then what happened? Then one of my favorite photos came out of it. We were at like a VIP Cineplex, so like they had alcohol.
Beautiful. I love it.
I had a giant fishbowl, and I had these like Von Vertigo style glasses and a cactus and a big ass like Bob Orrin cast on my arm, and it was just Agent Fishbowl was I think it's still my name in some group chat we haven't touched in a couple decades, a couple of years, not decades. I'm that old that things are a couple decades ago,
exactly.
but not
it was
everything.
possible.
Yeah. So I just and 2019 was my busiest year. I think I did like 100 shows and 115 matches. Like I did that with a broken hand, but like so I never got
a broken
hurt.
freaking hand, man.
I never got hurt, and like what I love is most of the time I started wrestling in barefoot and no knee pads.
Yeah, I noticed that some of your matches, all of a sudden, no shoes, no socks, no knee pads. Are you crazy? What happened to the knee pads? At least.
Well, it becomes that like extra credible thing to the other wrestlers. Which, by the way, if I'm wearing knee supports, it was the winter. I did understand old people now when they said like, "Oh, I can feel it's gonna rain in my bones." I'm like, what a crazy old fuck. But like, yeah, it gets real, especially in the winter. You feel that as you get older. Like, I actually just got new knee supports that I put off getting for a couple of years and new amateur shoes today because I'm going to training tomorher.
Let's
and I'm
go.
like, okay, I'm ready to get back into this fucking bullshit. But I'm going through just like this mental block, and I was like, okay, I'm starting to hope to get injured so a doctor could tell me to stop. And at a certain point, I wish it was when I originally had the thought. But even like I think for drunk driving, like a person, Chris Jericho wrote about it in his book of he got arrested for drunk driving. He told the officer, this is the first time I've ever done it. And the officer said, no, most drunk drivers have done it 5 to 15 times before they're caught. Like it's not a one and done thing. You've done it multiple times, just haven't been caught. And so I didn't have that thought. And I also wasn't really talking to anyone. I also realized at that moment of like, I'm okay with heavy stuff because once again, my life's been Showtime's shameless. Like it happens. I'm not going to complain about it. It is real, but there were some times that I felt, there's one time a fan came up to me. I think it was November of that year or the year prior. They're like, how's it going at the merch table? I'm like, well, I wanted to fucking kill myself last Tuesday. And they're like, oh,
I better buy your shirt then.
No, they just stood there awkwardly for like 45 seconds. And I realized I was the problem. And I'm like,
trauma dump.
They asked. I was honest. Like, I don't think that there's any, but
someone should be able to handle that response though. As a normal human, you can like empathize and be like, oh shit, tell me about like something, not just like,
I will say there is some social cues brother was missing. But like, I realized I was like, not everyone can handle that. Like when you go to the gym, if you're trying to deadlift 250 pounds and you haven't gone to the gym in your life, you're going to struggle, if not fail. Yeah. Build your way up from there. So I realized like that wasn't for me. And then I'm having these thoughts. I'm like, you want to know what? Especially so many people. Okay. Now that I think I'm in a mode of like looking back and reflecting of how much like encouragement was actually abuse that I didn't realize. Like me being self-deprecating came from other people shitting on me. And I didn't realize it. I'm just like, what a weird mud bath. But so like every now and then I'll have like this PTSD moment where I'm like, Oh, fuck that, dude. I thought we were friends. Motherfucker never paid gas. Um, so I just had that moment right now of like, no one ever said I would go to the WWE, but they would always say I'm a lifer or I have the work ethic that I'll always be wrestling. And there was a bit of me that wanted that control back. And I was like, well, if I'm the dude that always shows up, what if I take a break? And then my buddy John Green fucking retires a month before I'm planning it. And I'm also like telling promoters, hey, I'm taking a break after January. Some bitch leaves his shoes in the ring, doesn't tell anyone what he's going to do, and then he fucking comes back 4 months later. And then I just have a match with Travis Moore at Pro Wrestling Ontario. It's my last match. I've told a lot of people it was a very open secret. And then I just had the match. Afterwards, a few people clapped for it, but I didn't want to make a moment, but I also took the moment to like just sink it in. And I'm like, okay, whatever happens, happens. Even in my bio still on Instagram says former pro wrestler, maybe return 2025. And it's like, I never use the term retired. I said I'm taking a break. I said Big Scary's dead because the next version of the Beast and Monster Holden Albright won't be Big Scary. It's still being formed and it's going to be this weird fucking monster.
Like at the time, you know, you weren't sure. At the time, you didn't know where it was going to go. You didn't know where you were going. That's fine.
But I knew I wasn't retired. I didn't want to use that term. So I'm like, yeah, Big Scary's dead. I know the Holden Albright I'm going to be when I come back. And then it took like for the better half of this year of like, I'll come back in the summer. I'll come back in this. And then it wasn't until talking to a promoter that finally it's like, what about this day? And then there's a part of you that's like, oh, what if I don't get booked anywhere else? And luckily I have connections across Canada and like I'm pretty busy coming up. And I'm like,
no way, let's go.
That's dope. And then also like, once again, me pissing people off. I said in a podcast interview like a month and a half ago of like, I know I'm not going to wrestle everywhere in Ontario like I wrestled before. I don't like half the promoters and they don't like me. And I'm okay with that of like, I'm not going to be subservient to this. Like, there's a couple promos I have in my head and like theories. Like even like one of them I wanted to talk to you about being an entertainer. Like when you said there's so much correlation between wrestling and entertainment. I hate when people are like, well, that's wrestling. It's entertainment. Entertainers, from artists to comedians to rock bands to actors to wrestlers, you're going to get taken advantage of to the point of you allow yourself to get taken advantage of. And there's a point of like, not every wrestler on a show deserves a $200 paycheck. Like getting paid isn't getting all the money. It's getting what you agreed on. If you agreed on $100, that's what you agreed on. If someone else made 1,500, whatever, don't be mad. You didn't talk to the promoter, whatever, or you're not worth that. But I reflected back and I accomplished pretty much everything there is to do. If I'm a big fish in a small pond, why am I going to be mad at the pond for being small? And it is like, I'm planning to move to Windsor in March to be closer to the border of like, I've done everything here. And if it's not so much I've done everything here, but it's, I may not have been the best version of myself when I was at whatever place, but I had that opportunity and I did the best I could at that moment. I'm not going to live in the regret and once again, the spiral and the dwell of like, but if I did that in 2019 instead of 2018,
you can
it would have been so much
overthink it and
better.
spin it any way you want. It's going to happen.
But you can't change it.
Nope.
So I like look at that stuff. And then, so I was going to tell you as an entertainer of like, when you're an entertainer, you're a prostitute. Like you allow, like I realize with the upswing on OnlyFans of how much blip blip. Come here. Sorry, one of my dogs.
No,
is
it's all
whining.
good.
I realize like, I think with OnlyFans, the natives were correct about like photography takes a little part of your soul. It's just like specifically when you're showing every hole in your body, like that might be a little bit more of taking away that personal moment. But like with entertainer, there's a little bit of our soul and our spirit in everything we do. But to be the prostitute version, are you going to be the cheap crack whore on the corner, or are you going to be a high class call girl? Because I'm just saying, I'm at the Ritz Hotel and getting paid per hour for some experiences and getting flown out. I'd rather be the high class one, or at least the bottom bitch for a pimp. I'm not going to be some
100%.
low level stuff.
No.
And it's just acknowledging that instead of running away from it. And
It's
You
knowing your
get
worth a little
out.
bit too. You've been there. You have
Yes.
experience now. You can put stories together. You're able to teach others and coach, and you know what it means to be easy to work with, whether it's promoters or not. Like experience is you can't just get experience. You can't teach
Yep.
experience. You just have to do it, and that's what you've done. Look at this beauty. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Little blue. She got the cane eye going on where one's blue and one's regular.
Oh, what kind of dog is she?
Okay. So Dexter, wiener dog.
Yep.
So he was the first dog I got. Like my first dog was 2 years older than me. Like she died my last day of grade 8. And I
Oh.
constantly said my she was a part of the family longer than I was. And then so I bought the wiener dog. And what's crazy is August 4th, 2013, I believe. I
Dachshund's a
posted
tough first dog, though, man. That's a hound.
It's the first one I bought though.
Okay.
We had Pomeranian Chihuahua, we had the
Okay.
toy poodle when I was growing up.
Beautiful.
But like that was mine. It was also the first male. But what's cool about Dexter is August 4th, I posted a photo on my Instagram. I was like, by the end of the summer, I'm gonna get a wiener dog. and what happened was he was actually born on August 4th. And like so I picked him up in September.
Oh.
The end of September, beginning of October. And I was actually gonna pick up what I believe was his brother or his sister, they were both apparently miniatures, but the one I wanted was black, and she got adopted like right before I got there.
Oh.
So I ended up with him, but he looks just like the photo I posted on August 4th. And then also, the little bastard is not fucking miniature. That some bitch is thick. But then it was my first male dog, and we only had female dogs before then. We didn't get them fixed or anything, so I didn't think about that expense with my wiener dog. And that motherfucker used his goddamn wiener. And he impregnated. We had Leah, who's a Maltese poodle found in a dumpster puppy.
No way.
And so somehow this Dachshund and this mutt created Blue, where
way.
she's shit. No one like a primary school kid draws a dog and like the limbs are all disproportionate and this is her. She looks like an at from fucking Star Wars. Like the other dog, her parents will walk under her goddamn legs. Like she looks like a miniature greyhound. Makes no goddamn sense. But she's great to cuddle.
Oh, that's so
she's like the
funny.
full body length.
That's so nice. She's a full body pillow, and the AT-AT, the AT reference, like, oh, it's so perfect, man.
Dude,
like,
it's crazy. The parents go under her. It's hilarious. But she's a big suck. And the thing is, though, it's like, so her mom is, so Dexter's 2013, so we turned 12, or he's turning 12 next month, 2025. That's how. So
Oh.
Leah is a year older than him. He impregnated her when he was like fucking 7 months old. Created two different litters of like 10 and 8 dogs. Like I became an amateur vet for a minute there. Like what's funny is when we delivered the puppies, because it was at home, they come in like the sack. And I remember looking at my sister and I'm like, the fuck is this? Like, I don't know. And I rip the sack open. Apparently, like the mom is supposed to eat it or like cut it. I'm like, no, she just keeps popping out these like fucking alien things. And my sister's like, oh, don't do that. I'm like, I've seen puppies before. I've never seen them in a fucking sack. So like I fucking tear it apart. Unfortunately, a couple of them did pass away. But like out of 18 dogs, 15 survived.
So many.
And like we kept her at least. But so that leads of like her mom is 2 years older than her and her dad's a year older.
Oh, that's amazing. Amazing stuff. I was very lucky. My first after school job was at a doggy daycare. That was like the dream job. So I finished school, go to the doggy daycare. There'd be like 12, 13 dogs, just play with them all different breeds, all different kinds. It was a great way to learn, about dogs and dog psychology a bit.
I have multiple dog groomers as friends.
Oh, nice.
Which dog did you have to take care of that was an asshole? Because there's always one dog. Or did you get lucky?
There were so many at a time. I don't remember. There was always a few I think that were bad, but I'm trying to remember which ones they were, like exactly what breeds they were. Why, did you have one in mind that you're thinking of?
No, I just remember my dog grooming friends because I have about 3 of them. Like every 8 months there would be a new enemy they had. That was a fucking dog.
Yeah, for this, luckily, for the ones that she would board, like the ones that would actually stay over, they were kind of like, we knew them.
Used
like there was
to
dogs I'd be
it.
scared of, like bulldogs and stuff like that. Oh my God, a bulldog. So sweet, so loving, so cuddly. Like, you can't judge a dog by its cover.
I wanted to get an English bulldog, and then I found out they live like 8 to 10 years, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
when you're used to poodles that
poor.
live 20 years, like
I'm like, poor return on investment there.
yeah. Same. Like if I ever got one, it would have to be a mix. I can't, the breathing issues and everything. Like why put the dog
Especially, I
through that?
don't want that. Like,
Can't
I've
afford
joked
it.
a bunch about being a fat. Oh, 100%. I I've joked about being a fat dude, but like I've never had like this is you have an existential crisis when your doctor says you're in good health with a question mark. Like my blood works great, and they're like, well, you could be at risk for blah blah blah, and it's in your family. I'm like, but do I have this? Like, no.
I don't
It's like,
understand.
yeah, I'm like
Deal with
fucking 16 and just fat as shit. I'm like, what the, huh? Why am I supposed to feel bad about not feeling bad? But like if I was dealing with
Thanks,
a
doc.
fucking if I was dealing with an English bulldog like hyperventilating near me, I feel
Oh.
like I would develop that actually. I would
Yeah, seriously.
I just get winded just looking at it.
Last question I want to throw at you because we talked about a lot of stuff today, but we were talking about movies a little bit, and obviously you know that I'm a movie guy, so you were touching on it. Can you give me maybe your top 4 favorites? I mean, because I know you just watched
Okay.
Goodfellas. That could be a Rushmore one easily. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but give me your 4.
I found out recently that if Wolf of Wall Street is your if your guy you're dating's favorite movie, it's a red flag.
Oh,
And I
really?
got a giant Wolf of Wall Street poster right over there.
I don't think you try to live that life and idolize it. If you like, the movie is incredible. Like that's not really arguable, is it?
So no, the opening scene where he has to close one eye, can't steer the so many pin pad elements like that when I had my drinking days. Because you mentioned like the Wednesday to Saturday. Mine was more so Thursday to Monday.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But like so many just close one eye. You're hoping that number fucking goes. My one buddy that I told you, the alcoholic, it was way worse because he wouldn't know his pin. And then he'd pass you the pin pad and just yell his numbers to where you're like, you need to go get a new bank card tomorrow. He also
Everyone
like,
in here knows it.
yeah. But Wolf of Wall Street's definitely. I feel like it's a really long and yeah, it's a Martin Scorsese movie. I feel like this one I will be a little gender specific. Every dude at some point, a Martin Scorsese film has to hit you. Like for some people, it's like Departed or whatever of like that will hit you. So I will put Wolf of Wall Street because that summation is 3 hours long, and I watched that in theater 4 different times.
No way.
Yeah.
That's so different. Like I still go to theaters. I love the theater experience, and I used to be, anxiety would be there. I'm like, I don't want to be around a bunch of other people. Now I'm like, I need to go early because I want to be a part of this feeling. Because people mark out for films now, and it's become acceptable, and it gets me more into it if they are.
I love that for comedies. Like Jonah Hill had a very not well received movie called The Sitter. That there was also one line in it, and this is back in my virginity days, where it's he starts the movie eating out a chick, and she goes, "My mom said fat dudes always eat pussy well," and I held that as a badge of hope for a long while, and I think at least I'm good at it. But I watched that of like with a bunch of people like laughing at it. Like I'm down for comedy, but my anxiety now is the opposite of like I want to go on like a Monday at 1 p.m. and just watch the movie by myself.
Yeah,
and, like, I won't
for more
feel
serious
bad
films, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I won't feel bad if I even pull out my phone to just like check a notification real quick.
Nice.
And just like enjoy because I wasn't a popcorn guy until like 8 months ago. Of like, there's
Really?
just something about because I'm not a sweets guy really. Like I'm savory. Like I want to I'll go to a movie theater and buy a hot dog before I'll buy popcorn. Like I love going. I'm low key though. I'm a huge drive-in mark.
Oh,
There's one
so
in
good.
Oakville called Five Drive-In. They'll do 3 shows on like a holiday weekend, and like you get like not diner but like drive-in, like not like drive-up food.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's fucking great. It fucking
The
especially
ones
if it's
here are all
cold,
French.
you
They
get a
don't
hot
they don't have an
chocolate.
English drive-in here anymore. It's only French, and like I speak French, but I want to watch an English movie in English,
Yeah.
preferably. So it's kind of chalked here, but
How do you feel about subtitles?
I'm okay with subtitles. I don't mind subtitles.
But like, I mean, people watching English movies with English, like there's a reason that like any shorts or video clips I put up, I don't really put captions on it because I'm not trying to, I guess now, like that I think about it, especially on the content creating side, I'm not trying to target people passively watching this.
Right.
I want you to watch this. I want you to turn the volume. I don't want you scrolling past this while you're on transit or taking a shit.
Because you're
Like,
saying
I
something. It's
want
not
you.
just like a thing I can watch. Yeah, no, I get that. But
Yeah, here's highlights of me falling on my head. Perfect. No sound needed, except like comedy sounds.
I've gotten used to it from living abroad. So it's a very common thing,
Mm,
especially for people that English isn't their first language. They'll put
yeah.
them on, and it's kind of like how they learn the language. So for me, maybe it's different because I've gotten used to it over the years.
Ah.
But they can be distracting, and you end up reading it instead of looking at what's happening. So you end up missing a lot of the visuals, which can be tough. And as we're getting older, some of our older friends, they can't hear anything. So they put those
Fair.
subtitles on right away. But yeah, of course, for years I didn't watch a single thing with them unless it was a foreign language film.
Mhm. Going back to the top four movie, I haven't watched it in a while, so I need to give credit and a reminder for myself. I'm a Stone Cold Mark. I liked fucking The Condemned. It was
Whoa!
fun. I was
All
like
right.
15 years old when it came out or some shit like that. It's a fun premise of a movie, especially thinking about
Amazing.
like technology and such like that.
Mm.
Uh, so Condemned, Wolf of Wall Street. Actually, I'll give the Purge series a little shout out because, like, I'm a little bitch. No matter how big Scary is, that's based in like true crime, not horror movies. So I can't really watch a horror movie, but like, I love thrillers. And like, I went through the
Yes.
whole Purge series, I think, early in the pandemic. I was like, okay, this is dope. I'm
The
digging
timing
this.
made it kind of special too. I think if you watch it during pandemic, it just I don't
Oh,
know. There's something
fair.
about it like.
I can't leave my house, so I can't kill all these people. I get it. I get it.
But when
Uh,
society returns, I will.
Hey, I'm a pro wrestler, amateur criminal because I haven't been caught. That's why it's amateur. There's no record of it. Uh, so Wolf of Wall Street, Condemned, Purge series, and I will throw, even though I mentioned Goodfellas, I will throw Casino instead. I feel like those two are a
Amazing.
little interchangeable.
Sure.
Oh, I forget the name of it, but it was also the inspiration for the original Joker movie. But I think it was called like Comedian or something with oh fuck, why am I blanking on
It's
homie's
all
name
good.
now? Uh he was in Meet the Parents, not well, obviously not Leonardo DiCaprio. Uh he's not Al Pacino, but he was like the rival of Al Pacino.
You mean De Niro?
De Niro, yes,
Yeah.
which I understands the DiCaprio. There's a movie called Comedian where he played a failed comedian and he was like stalking a late night host, which was the inspiration for the original Joker. I feel like it was the late 80s, early 90s. And I
How have I
watched
never
that
seen this?
like a year. That's the thing. It's like low key, especially instead of him playing like a badass or like a person that has their shit together, he plays this mentally unfit dude. And like, especially how everyone pretty much praised the original Joker movie, of like, this is what that movie was based off of. And it's just so,
Really? Oh
it's so good. So
shit!
I'll put that as a little asterisk. And you want to know what? I'll throw in a little shit talking.
Bring it.
I do not know if the movie's bad. This opinion is mine. A lot of times I do joke now that I have a lot of non-public opinions. I love when people ask me things like I don't have a public opinion on this. Like even we didn't talk about it, but I don't talk about modern wrestling really
Mm.
because why am I going to critique someone doing something I do at a higher level? Like there's too many of these fucking kids that like they're talking like they're 15-year-olds on Facebook and it's like A, you're going to run into them. B, I don't like wrestlers saying psychology and they don't know how to spell it. Like, go fuck yourself. But it is not that the movie is good or bad. It's because I was born in 1992 and I've just seen so many parodies of it. The Godfather sucks.
Sucks.
It's so long, and this comes into like the fucking like
As a
ADD.
Sicilian, you say it sucks?
I also my nana would yell at me every time you say mafioso, so I might have like a little internalized of you need to avoid this. But which by the way, shout out Crave/HBO put on like a 3-part documentary series on the Toronto crime families in the 90s and shit, and it was fucking bomb. It came out in
Yeah, it's
February,
actually
I
good.
want to say.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
so
yeah.
fucking good. Because it's real interviews with the actual people. They even like a couple of people got deported back to Italy. They went out there and Cuba. There's this like jack dude with these big sunglasses that got like deported. They're being honest about all their shit. They're showing footage of like bakeries being exploded. Like there's one firebombing that they took out a wall that landed on their car. Like that was a real thing that happened in Toronto. But like so in The Godfather, it also like takes place in reverse, so I feel like you need to watch like the movie but like it starts at the fucking daughter's wedding where it's like you come to me on the like that's the start of it, and then the horse's head is 20 minutes in, and this is a 2-hour where it's like I don't know if that film like I love the idea of choosing the content my children can watch. Like you could give them cartoons from the 90s. You can give like I love the idea that every sitcom from the last 20 years for the most part, all their situations can be solved by a cell phone.
It's so
Like,
watching
oh, you're at the
Seinfeld
wrong
back and stuff.
theater. Yeah, dude, you're at the wrong theater. Here's already the assigned seating of this.
There's a text. All
Oh,
right,
I
done.
didn't get my voicemail. I didn't do like everything. Friends and Seinfeld can be solved with a cell phone.
Yeah.
But with the Sopranos is fucking awesome. I also low-key, I will shout out The Sopranos because it starts in 99 and finishes in 2007, and you see technology become a thing. They start using cell phones. They start talking about 9/11 and such like that. That like I'm about to watch The Wire actually. That's like on my next.
I was
like,
about to
watch
say, I
thing.
didn't want to say it, but I was like, that reminds me a lot of The Wire.
Yeah, I low key what the final tipping point. So I watched Heads of States recently with Idris Elba and John Cena. I will say once again, like bad music taste. I think I legitimately like bad movies, like not horrible movies that like I said The Godfather fucking sucks. I'm not right. I'm not calibrated correctly. But like that movie was such stupid fun, and I realized I listened to like 4 hours worth of like Breakfast Club and Vanity Fair things with Idris Elba and John Cena.
So
and then
good.
they mentioned a couple things about The Wire, and I was like, fuck it, I'll watch it. Okay.
There we go. Oh, thank goodness. I think you're going to like it. And they had some really good takes on movies and on film and enjoying movies. And they like their Rushmores. They didn't try to go the artistic route and find the most. They just listed their favorite movies. And that's what I love. They're not trying to. You'll see it like on Letterboxd. They'll interview people all the time. Their top 4 that account. They'll interview people on the red carpet all the time. You'll see actors trying to dig deep and what is going to be the one that impresses everybody. But I love when they just give me your favorite. It doesn't have to be the deepest. You know what I mean? So I love that. I love that you've given that too.
Did you see the clip of John Cena on Ricky Stenicki panel of what's your favorite film?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
So they said, what's your favorite guilty pleasure film?
Yeah.
And Cena just goes, if it's my favorite film, though, it's my favorite film. It's not a guilty pleasure. And one of the cast mentioned Finding Nemo. It's like, it's a great movie. And it's like, yeah, but like it's for kids. And then Cena just goes, The Green Door. And they're like, wait, what's that? I haven't heard about that. And then someone thought it was The Green Book, which I also watched recently, which was a really good film. But they look it up, and you hear the cameraman, Cena just goes, yeah, don't worry, look it up, just Green Door. Look. And it goes, The Green Door is a hardcore porn from 1978. Like, I love that John Cena is the old shitbag uncle.
That's so good. What?
Which pet do you have there?
Oh, this is. Oh, this is
I
Norman.
look so unimpressed.
So unimpressed, so upset. Bright lights, everything.
Cute,
Not happy.
though. Cute.
Yeah, that's my boy Norman, my little rescue cat.
He's cute.
Yeah, that's my buddy. Man, I've kept you for over 2 hours. I can't believe that. Thank you so much for giving me all that time. And
yeah, I'm sorry I didn't warn you. I normally have to tell podcasters I'll be your longest podcast.
longest podcast. No, it's not a bad thing. I didn't even realize it. Honestly, when I started telling you like, oh, hey, we're reaching the hour now, I couldn't believe it. Now I look up and it's been over 2 hours. I'm like, what? Man, I've kept this guy long enough, man. Thank you so much for coming on. And you're wrestling this weekend, right?
Yes, sir. Depending when this goes up, I will have returned to Pro Wrestling Ontario. I do not know if I'm wrestling, but I there was a couple promos I did during the Uproar and Showcase shows of I'm not dressed to wrestle, but I'm always ready to fight. So all I know is I got the fucking $150 cowboy hat. Uh, I just actually loaded a bunch of cigars because tomorrow after we record Van Hold in the morning, I got some photos to take.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I can't wait to piss a lot of people off.
And entertain a lot of people, man. People are going to be happy to have you back, myself included. So I'm excited.
I actually last year in June, I actually had the Bret Hart kid moment. I was hanging out at a show in a place called Brantford, Ontario for Brantford Wrestling. And there's me, Van Landen, Johnny DeLuca, and Bryce Hensworth. If you don't know who he is, he's blowing up everywhere. He won a Noah tryout. He's just fucking killing it. He's like 20
Holy.
years old. Looks like the fucking dynamite kid. Has a great fucking ethic. Chill dude. We're all talking. And then this one little kid's leaving. And it's an outdoor show. And he goes, Holden! And we like look over. And he goes, when are you coming back to wrestling? And then Bryce looks at me and is like, you just had the fucking Bret Hart moment. And like, here's also the thing. So I'll leave it on this just to piss off some more people that definitely didn't listen this far because they don't care enough about their wrestling. But a lot of people like to use the term leave it better than you found it.
Mm.
Motherfucker, you need to leave for it to get better. I wish, like, I'm going through existential crisis right now. That's why I can't wait to return to wrestling. That I'm not as good as I was 2 years ago, but I'm also not as good as I am going to be a year from now. That's why I don't have better gear because I'm still slimming down. I don't want to waste $500 on gear
Yeah,
and that doesn't
seriously.
fucking fit in 3 months. So it's like, fuck it, white t-shirt and jeans.
Beautiful.
And what happens though is just if I've heard too many wrestlers say nobody's over. Motherfucker, you're not over. You're not allowed to tell who's over. For Love Wrestling's first show, I had Ada, I called my little Patreon fans the Acolytes of Albright so we could do AOA for the APA ripoff. And 8 of them flew out to Edmonton to watch me wrestle. When I won a belt in New Brunswick, 4 of them carpooled over there. Like, I don't sell tickets. I sell fucking plane tickets. And when I come back, I'm reminding motherfuckers that.
Hell
the
yeah,
reason
man.
why some promoters don't like me is because they were going to give me $100 and they gave me $75 and they didn't like that I corrected them.
That's actually a thing.
One of my fucking best friends told me, and I've never labeled him as my best friend, but like I fucking love talking to this jackass. He's like, because I was talking to a buddy a few months ago, and he mentions like, oh, well, I know you don't like this person. I'm like, I don't care. I told you my Chris Van Vliet rule. And it's like, well, when people say things about you, I tell them you're my friend. And I'm curious because I used to say, and I understand it's unrealistic now, when you stop liking me, let's have an exit interview. Tell me your grievances and let me decide if those are character traits I want to change or not. I'm okay admitting like I was a jackass 2 weeks ago or 20 years ago. I hope I'm not the same jackass now. You just gotta make different mistakes. And it's like, yeah, like I was like, oh, what do they say about me negatively? And it's like, well, they say you're loud and opinionated. I'm like, oh, that's way better than being a fucking drunk or a sexual assailant. Like, yeah, I'm good with this. And then my buddy a couple weeks ago when we were chatting, he was like, yeah, the people that don't like you, Brendan, are because you gave them criticism they didn't want to hear. Like, there's this one dude that, like, it got around that he said, like, what I said was disrespectful, which I think if people bring up disrespect, they're not looking to be respected. They're looking to be disrespected of like, oh, well, they don't. And it's like, no, none of this fucking matters. But I wrestled him and I found out I have a new rule. If a lot of people tell me someone's been training recently and they're getting better, the match is going to be garbage. Dude, the brother forgot our tackle at the beginning of the goddamn match. We go to the back, his trainer's there. He's like, oh, how was the match? And the back is literally a closet. It is a storage closet for this Legion Hall that, like, you can fit 2 sets of 5 banquet chairs face to face. That's how long this. So I hear I'm getting changed. His trainer goes, how was it? He goes, oh, it was all right. I forgot stuff. And I legitimately, this is a quote. This is why, like, if anyone ever says Brendan said whatever, it's like, no, I said it way funnier and meaner. I said it this way. I went, brother, you forgot from the lockup. Like, and I've told people before, like, I'll motherfuck you in the ring because I'm intense and I'm passionate, but I'm not taking it with me after the bell rings. Like, I'll tell you what went wrong, but I'm not going to hold it against you.
Yep.
I also now label you're not a good wrestler. That doesn't mean you're not a good person. The best people are shitty fucking wrestlers. That's why they still get booked. And people go, why? It's like, because he's a good dude.
Yeah.
But like that little thing of like, nah, if you don't like what I said, you didn't want to hear it. But if I'm an honest person, I'm not going to be mad about what I fucking said.
Yeah. And that's what I mean, come on. Was that really that bad of a take? Clearly you hit a soft spot or a sore spot, right? Because it wasn't a bad comment. It wasn't out of place. It was just.
I did cut a promo the night before that show though, saying, you can be in wrestling, you can be whatever kind of wrestler you want. If you want to be a technical wrestler, you can do that. And sometimes those who can't teach, and those who can't wrestle like to bring toys and hardcore. And $100 bill and a $5 bill might both be bills, but one of them's worth a whole lot more than the other. Because that's also when I come back to cut promos,
Amazing.
I'm telling people there's 2 layers to this. Do you want like kind of professional, or do you want a stiffer shot than? Because I'll get to your goddamn core. I'll bring up the fact that your daddy ain't proud of you. No one can say shit about me. It's like, you have tits. I was like, yeah, and I can bounce them because of the fucking Rock. Like, okay, you have this, and I got a small dick, big balls. Average package, brother.
This is where it is. This is where the story is. This is the gold, though. This is what people should be begging for. If you're a good guy, all you have to do is talk a little bit of shit to you. You're going to come up with something. It might be true, but it's going to hurt. It's going to be crazy. But you use the character. Don't respond from yourself. Respond from your character, and it's going to create story. That's what so much of wrestling is missing now, is those types of jabs that hit a little bit of realism in it. Makes it go a long way.
I'm an attitude error mark, brother. I'm going Rock and Triple H. If The Rock goes to the back, complains Bruce Pritchard, goes, Hunter's going off script. Well, the red light's on. You can also go off script. And it hits on that part. And like, and that's the thing about fucking professional wrestling. It's fake fighting.
Yep.
Why is there so many fake fucking people? Here's my pet peeve. So many fat guys think they're fucking strong. No, you're not. You're just fat. Like, no. I love when people's gimmick is, yeah, I'm going to do this power spot and you have to pose for me. I was like, no. That's my gimmick, though. Yeah, and I'm a fucking wizard. Which I do magic tricks and throw fireballs, but like so it doesn't work.
You're not playing a wizard. You could be a wizard. You're not right now.
I do have, bro, I predict too many things that happen, but like I don't believe in psychics because of like my magic background. I think that might be my curse. I don't believe in myself.
I don't even know what to say. It's facts.
Exactly. 2 hours and 20 minutes later.
Oh, man. Thank you so much for coming out. Really appreciate it. And
I got to have you on my show in September or October.
Hell yeah, man. I'm down. Absolutely down.
I'm getting in the vibe of the rhythm of everything, and I can't wait to hear your stories and evolution of acting in the podcasting world.
Yeah, for sure. And wrestling or whatever else we can touch on, I'm down. Open book. I'll share it. We'll get into death. We'll get into all the things. I'll give it to you back.
Hey, you're a wrestling fan, so you touching things are probably consensual. Half of the fucking wrestlers, mostly from the UK, can't say the same goddamn thing. That's also the thing of like, what I'm saying is true. It's like, you're not supposed to say that. I'm like, no, you're just not supposed to commit the fucking crime.
Yeah, how about that?
Why am I punished for you being on a fucking list?
So good.